would like to make a motion. There are no waste payments. There's nothing for the county and nothing for the school board. I make a motion, Council President.
Move it.
So moved by Councilwoman Mims, second by Councilman Mendez.
Okay.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call for the first payment of bills in the amount of $61,203.45. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Let me just ask, I thought we got paid on Friday. Why isn't there payroll on this one?
I think, isn't this for COVID? I'm not sure.
No, this ain't COVID.
No, I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, but I'm just saying, didn't we get paid this week? Why payroll's not on here?
The payroll's not on because we had to convert. We have a new finance module. We have we have two modules now for old stuff, and it just came up on, I believe, late Friday. So I'm gonna put payroll in the next meeting.
Even though we don't got paid, so next time, the next meeting will be the 19th, and you'll have a payroll.
Correct.
For the 8th of January.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you. Before I vote, Council President, if you may, please, sir, I'm gonna need some clarity on a few items. The BA in the past has informed this council that there was not going to be a selection process because all the employees were not entitled to hazardous pay. They opted not to give any of the employees hazardous pay. I heard a rumor, and I'm not sure how true it is, but I heard a rumor that there was a number of different departments, police and fire, which is to be expected, but also the administration had recently been approved to receive hazardous pay, and DPW was denied hazardous pay. So, obviously, I'm finding it very troublesome to approve. The lack of trust I have for this administration speaks for itself. But, Council President, I'm hoping that through my no vote, it will encourage you, or at least have you hold them accountable to answering whether or not there's any validity in that claim, and explaining exactly who's receiving hazardous pay and who is not. With that being said, I won't labor this any longer. My vote is no, Madam Clerk.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
I want to commend, today was our first committee meeting with the new committee assignments, and all 4 committee members were present. So I want to commend that for a great meeting on today. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Glass?
This payment of bill, right, correct?
Yes, the one for $61,203.45.
My vote is yes.
Thank you. Mr. President?
Before I vote, I just want to say that each council member could hold the administration accountable. We hold the same weight. My vote is yes.
Thank you. The vote is 7 in favor, 1 against, 1 absent. Payment of bills amount of $61,203.45 is hereby adopted.
Council President, I would like
Council President.
Councilwoman Mims.
Yes, I would like to make a motion for the COVID payments in the amount of $4,308,736.12. Purchase orders and invoices are all attached, and they were sent out since last Friday, and we had a committee meeting in regards to this today. That's my motion, Council President.
Move and discussion.
Okay, moved by Councilwoman Mims, second by Councilman Velez, discussion. Councilman Velez?
Council President, you know, I take a little bit serious, the statement of Councilman Jackson and not give the opportunity at least to our corporate counsel. And now that we're in the payment of bills of COVID, to bring some clarification, because he stated that he heard rumors about one thing, and I'm not Council President, that he heard rumors, and based on the records the record that he just stated, I will be glad to hear if it's a rumor or it's a fact, because it could send mixed information to the public service worker that we have in the city. I'm not gonna say rumors, but yes, some employees of DPW got some kind of compensation for COVID-19. Some supervisor was extracted from it, so I don't know what's the reason or not, Council President, but when I hear a statement with Councilman Jackson stated, a rumor, and then the administration don't have the time to clear that rumor, it will be healthy for us as council members to hear the administration in that aspect. Now that we have COVID-19 payment of bill, that will be married with the statement that Councilman Jackson did.
So to that point, before you jump in, Corporation Counsel, in the interest of the meeting, we have a few hours. This meeting is going to take a few hours. Right now, we're in the middle of a discussion for a bills list. Could we at least finish this, and then we can entertain whatever discussion you want? But let's just try to keep the order. We're supposed to be discussing items on the bills list. Right now, we don't even have payroll on the bills list. I'm not saying that this is not important to discuss, but let's just do if there's no other discussion on this bills list, any other questions, let's do the roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call for payments of bills in the amount of $4,308,736.12. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan. Councilwoman Khan.
Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Oh, thank you. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So, for a point of clarity to the Council President's last commentary, and I appreciate Councilman Velez making a request that the administration answer, because as Council President controls the meeting, and in order to maintain decorum, there's often easily escaped opportunities by the administration to just allow my questions to go unanswered. So I asked Council President to make sure so we don't move forward until the question is answered. So for a point of clarity, in my haste and moving fast, because it is actually hazardous related, there's a large number of employees who were not given an opportunity to utilize vacation and time off while they were doing the task of working under the scope of the hazard for COVID-19. And while other employees were able and allowed to carry that time over, these employees were not. So it's just for a point of clarity. I wanted to make sure that it's not confused with anything. All employees should be treated fairly. And for my last point, I'm hopeful moving forward. Any so-called recommendations and denials from DCA, in the past when the former administration was here, council members traveled to Trenton and met with DCA, as Councilman Velez recalls. He and I was a part of that group that met with DCA. Now apparently DCA does not answer to the council, and we have repeatedly told things. Oh, DCA denied it. It's never provided to us in writing. We just take their word for it, and it seems that the same employees or the same groups are the ones who are consistently being denied by this administration. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is no.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik.
Yes.
Okay. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And before my vote, I definitely agree that it's important to give, Councilman Jackson the opportunity to bring this topic back again at some point during this meeting. I know we are in roll call in this section, but I definitely think that it's important to bring some clarification about this topic moving forward. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Means?
Yes, so we're voting on the COVID payments. A lot of this work has been done. The invoices and purchase orders are attached. This was discussed in our committee meeting on today. This packet was sent out on Friday to the council in its entirety. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Glass?
COVID-19 payment of bill, my vote is yes. I will refrain of comments. If the council president stated that we're gonna have a discussion after this, so I hope he could allow us to have that conversation regarding the statement of Councilman Jackson and clarify, because this council president, it's a workshop, and workshop could be lengthy because it's business. But when you hear statement and comments, and it's live in TV at this point, and there is some statement made regarding who had the right to get some benefit or not, it could miscommunicate to our employees, especially those that, for me, everybody should be get paid. But there's some rules and stipulation that the administration probably could clarify any comments regarding Councilman Jackson regarding the COVID-19 hazard pay. And one thing is, I agree with Councilman Jackson saying that, the rush. And I understand that in the past, and RUSH, rush, of sometimes some meetings, and we are in a workshop. I haven't participated in a couple of days or weeks to just analyze how the meeting goes without me there. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna make still my comments, and I hope my comments are not taken for granted, because at the end of the day, time will tell where we're going with this administration, also with this council. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Mr. President?
So let me just clarify. We will not have a discussion. I'm going to let the administration clarify that after the vote, but we will not have a discussion on this matter. We've been having a discussion every workshop, and every workshop we constantly say that the administration have dealt with it, have dealt with this through their legal counsel, their outside attorneys, labor counsel, and I'm sure the unions have also been in the mix in this discussion. So I'll let, after my vote, I'll let Corporation Counsel and the administration clarify this, but this is not on the agenda. We will not have a discussion on this item, on this topic. So my vote is yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. The vote is 7 in favor, 1 against, 1 absent. Payment of bills in the amount of $4,308,736.12 is hereby adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, just to get it out of the way, I want the administration just to briefly clarify the statements made by Councilman Jackson to the validity of it, but we will not entertain a discussion on this matter. Can you please, Madam BA or Madam Corporation Counsel?
Sure, I'll just say plainly that I don't know what that rumor is, but there is no hazard pay for police, fire administration, anyone. The only pay that has been talked about in relation to this is contractual pay. There was one bargaining unit that had something in their contract that we had to address. That's it.
Could you specify the bargaining unit? Maybe some people in the public could, get some clarification.
Sure, it was the DPW the blue collar workers within DPW.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam
Council
BA.
President, I specified the rollover time that they did not allow They specifically in the BA, very,
She's ready to answer.
I'll speak to that as well. Thank you, Council President.
Yeah.
This is something that is being regulated by the Civil Service Commission. What we had to do as a city, we had to submit a full listing of anyone who needed to carry over time, and we included everyone who had it. In the law, on the state level, they had certain categories that they approved some of it, and they did not approve all of it, because they said that it had to be someone who was directly addressing COVID and COVID issues. We have appealed that. This is not a decision that the city made. If it were up to the city, we would allow everyone to carry over what was requested. And if I could clarify one other thing, Council President, about testing. I know at the end of the special meeting, the emergency meeting, there were some comments made about testing. We do appreciate the fact that last week we had a conversation about it. We learned new information in the middle of that meeting. We went back as a group. We not only, again, something that I addressed at that meeting, it was the financial piece, but it was also the staffing piece. In December, we didn't have vaccinations going. We didn't have a pod set up around International High School. So we had to assess what the staffing would be for all three of these entities: testing site, vaccination point, and contact tracing, in addition to regular work in our clinics, regular staff work. That has been assessed. The next date of testing was pre-scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday, and that testing will continue, will now increase back up to the levels of 6 days a week testing, beginning on Wednesday, because then as of Thursday, we will be able to release the schedule tomorrow for the remaining days going forward. So we thank you for your patience as we had to do that evaluation of both money and staffing. And never was it something that everyone agreed that we all wanted to have as much testing as possible. We just had to make it happen. And I know we talked about this a little bit in Finance Committee, that we were putting that back up, but I thank you for the opportunity to tell the entire council.
Just give me a minute. I'm working something out with IT real quick. Just give me a minute. All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, it was requested that I'm a little confused with item number 11. It was requested, I need to get some clarity on number 11, because,
Number 11,
yeah.
the workshop? Yes.
I was asked to bring that up. It's for pipe motors,
Yes.
because, yeah, go ahead.
You want me to go ahead? Yeah.
Yes.
At the last meeting we had on the workshop session, the council had requested that we contacted the owner for pipe motors should be at this workshop. So I did send out the invite, and we have the person supposed to be on tonight to answer questions that the council had. So we had some concerns from the last meeting pertaining to that Junkyard and 88-92 Montgomery Street.
But the concern that I have is an email that I received, and I want some clarity. The email basically stated, hold on, Councilwoman Cotton, because we got to determine if we're going to entertain this or not, based on what I'm about to say. So it was asked for us to do it, basically the first item on the agenda, have the discussion, because the gentleman, I guess, that's going to be patrolling, representing the business, is patrolling today. Is that correct? That's what I need the clarification. Are you here? Is it Tony?
He has to unmute.
It looked like it's Tony. I was trying to wonder who he
Yes,
was.
yes, it is Tony. Hi, good evening.
Tony, can I ask you a question before we proceed?
Yes, sir.
So, based on the email, You're representing the business
Yes,
and you're on patrol.
yes.
I don't think it's in your best interest to be in this meeting right now, then.
Well, he owns the business.
I understand,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Cotton, just hear me out for a minute. I'm a public employee myself, right?
I understand that, but if he owns, well, let his mother come or his father.
No, I don't have a problem with him coming. He's working right now, is what I'm saying.
You have to have, off the
Yeah.
table right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't work for the city of Paterson, but I'm.
No, you don't?
No, I don't. I work for the, township of Teaneck.
Oh, all right, that's not my problem. All right, we can proceed. I wish the email said that. All right, let's continue.
Council President, fully aware of that he's worked for the Teaneck, but based on,
Maybe he's taking his lunch.
No, based on, I know, but based on the record, we had this issue before, he needs to put away his badge when he's addressing the council, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, can
Yes,
you
sir.
please read into the record?
Yes, Mr. President. So the item we are making reference to is item number 11 on the workshop agenda. It said resolution addressing renewal of a motor vehicle junkyard license for Pike Motors located at 88-92 Montgomery Street in the 4th Ward.
Councilwoman Cotton?
The reason why that, I'm happy that you are able to make it with us, Tony, but, the issue was at our last meeting in December, there were several, community members that had called in regarding to, your junkyard there on Montgomery Street between Mercer Street and, Summer Street, correct? That's where you're located.
Yes,
My understanding is that your company, Pike Motors, is not being community friendly with the community, and I'm not quite sure how long your business been there, but I know it's been there for quite many years. And I'm not quite sure, but I'm not sure if we have any of the people who called in last month on this meeting, but we need you to say, tell us about you, about the business, what your plans are, how you think you're gonna be able to correct everything that has gone wrong so far in the last, say, year or so, over there on Montgomery Street.
okay. Well, I would say, I would personally say that, the business has been community friendly. We've been there, it was a business that my father purchased, I believe in '97. He passed away in 2007. It was something that we carried on as a family. We still carry it together as a family business. I've made it, in different council meetings before, a different, board, when I've made it public that if there's any issues, I gave my contact number. I've actually dealt with, a couple of the, residents that live across the street and, the condos that they have across the street. I really made it like an open door policy where if there's any issue that I can work on or anything that they see that I'm not seeing, we're really open to working with them. And it's always been like that. I don't ever think that anything is veered off. We've never had anything closed or like we don't brush off anybody's feelings. Like we said, we're a community. And if there's something that is going on, because I'm not there every day. So if there's something going on that I can't address at that moment, when I do come around, I'm freely open to speak with.
Well, let me ask you something, Tony. Have they come over and had anybody in the community were coming to you say in the last year? Have they been coming to you to say, you're having cars? I think the biggest concern is that most of the cars are not. I know it's a junkyard, but I'm not quite sure if you do mechanical work or not. But they're saying that the cars are parked on the street, which really shouldn't be. They should be in the yard. So I'm asking you now, have they come to you and brought their concerns to you?
No, I haven't heard from anyone. No one has come to me and brought their concerns to me. And as far as vehicles that are in the street, like there are so many businesses around that area. As far as like you have a car wash across the street, you have the residents. You have the residents as well that are across the street, and I know their parking lot in the back of that building is not big enough, so a lot of people are parking the street. You also have, I don't know the exact address, but there's a warehouse that's right across the street as well. I don't know what type of business they run in there, but
Okay,
they also have delivery trucks and they have their workers that come into work and they park on the street. So it seems like with a junkyard, with a car business, so every car that's out there, they're assuming that it has to deal with us, but it doesn't. We make sure that when cars come in from the auction, they go exactly from the tow truck right into the yard, and we make sure that we don't have any vehicles that are unregistered left on the street.
Any other questions?
Council
Councilmember?
President,
I can't hear you, Councilwoman Cotton.
I know, you said your father bought the business in 1997?
I believe it was 97, might have been 97 or 98. He bought it from a guy named Louis Vital.
Oh, okay, I'm not quite sure, so in other words then, Tony, what's your last name, Tony?
Olamiju. Olamiju.
Okay,
Council President.
all right, and then.
Hold on a minute, Councilwoman Cotton, I haven't finished yet.
Yeah, I'm not, you know what, I'm just saying to you, and I know, I always say to businesses is that you have to be community friendly, and you have to do your best to work with the community. And they have to come over and say something to you, you know, like, you're doing this and this is happening. Your tow truck is here, you're not responding to, but you're saying to me that they haven't even come over there to say anything to you.
No.
In the state of last year. And I know, and I kind of know the area, and I have no idea where I looked and see up the street, in that warehouse, I'm really not sure. Councilman Velez, go ahead, please.
Actually, Councilwoman Cotton, I gotta give him the floor. Councilman Velez.
And thank you, Council President. Let me put myself in the camera. Hopefully I don't get a lot of tickets in Teaneck, but that's okay. He knows me. Tony. Tony, I know that this license renewal Junkyard is under Pikes Motors, correct?
Yes.
Can you confirm the name that is in the outing that says Almonte used car dealer, used auto parts?
Okay, so obviously with the job that I do, it's hard for me to be there 24/7. But I'm consistently on the phone to Juan. Juan is a guy that's basically subleasing a junkyard for me. If you notice the sign, it says Almonte, and then on the bottom of it says I'm trying to get the exact wording.
Use auto parts. It says our works fee for us, number one. It says Pike Motors alternate name. But the question actually, the question is, I know you probably have the property under your name.
Yes.
The CO probably under your name.
Yes.
Okay. The CO is stated only as a junkyard, or is stated auto part repairs, or what it says, because I could see that you subleasing a junkyard license to a different users. So that it could create a conflict on your operations if, I don't know, first of all, the sign, even that could be a little bit tricky, the wordings and going around, just to say that is your business, but you just stated in the record that you're subleasing a property to another person. But what about the uses? If that person went in front of the board, a zoning board, to make sure that auto repairs and mechanic are suitable to the place. The CO, you cannot just get a CO of saying, where you have junkyard and then buy cars and try to do mechanic work and then bring another car, because if I go to Google, I see cars that is not coming directly from a auction. It has a New Jersey reg, people coming in to drop cars, okay? I just want to you, because if you say that you don't have no issues with the neighbors and you're friendly neighbors with them, more likely you're not running the business. So the action or people that are there more than 12 or 13 hours or 15 hours, probably the action are told different and they speak by you because it's under your name.
Okay.
And
So,
it could create a conflict with the neighbors and you don't even realize it, that somebody did something wrong.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, so you telling me to, that's it?
No, you basically, can you please wrap it up, if you don't mind? When any other concerns? Yes.
So he heard my concern, and I think that is suitable that he says that, I just want, do you run the business, are you there 8 hours? No. No.
I'm there 4 times a week. The days really verify on, my schedule as far as my work schedule. Yes, it is being subleased. Yeah, we have 88 dash because it's a large property, but sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. I apologize, the call was coming in. So there we have the property from 88 to 92 is it's the Junkyard license. We also have a licensed dealership through the state, which is the address of 94 to 98.
Okay, so hold on for a minute.
So the cars are leaving.
Hold on from there, sir. I know the process. You say that you acquired this from your parents acquired from another person as a junkyard license. When did you got the dealership license under the address? That means that probably the zoning approve it, because not a license means that you could operate from there. If you're gonna change the use of a property, you need to come in front of the zoning board. You came to the zoning board to apply a license into your business?
No, it was done already. When the property was purchased, that's when it was done. Everything as far as the dealership and the junkyard was done when my father was alive, and I've been keeping it up ever since.
Okay.
I've done everything I need to do with the state, and I've done everything that I need to do with the city as far as coming to get licenses. I've never had an issue when it comes to renewing my license. This was the first time I had an issue. This was probably I probably want to say maybe 12 years ago, and it wasn't even an issue. I guess that's before they built the new building. The condos across the street. That's when there wasn't a lot of people, residents in there, but when they started getting more residents, that's when we started having, not issues, but they had concerns on, the cars coming in and when they were coming in. We addressed those issues. I don't really know what the issues are now. From what I'm being told, the issues are guys are working past a certain amount of hours. I was told that people were complaining that my guys were working at 3 o'clock in the morning. So what I did, I requested a call of service from the city of Paterson, and I seen that the police only came to my area, I believe 4 times, and 2 of the times they came was because we called in because the business were burglarized twice at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if residents are seeing people at 3 o'clock in the morning, rather than calling and complaining, saying that, you know what, people are working at 3 in the morning, I guess if we're working as a community, they call the police come out there, and we know who burglarized.
Tony, can you give me a minute, Tony? Council members, normally I notice that whenever we bring in any business owner in, we basically tell them what the issues are, right? We're not doing that right now, except for the time that Councilwoman Cotton stated that there's some issues with the parking in the area. If there are, in fact, issues with parking and there's a lot of businesses in the area, then we need to contemplate maybe doing what they did on 38th Street, right? If in fact there's an issue with parking in the area. right? Let's have some residential parking. But I don't want to prolong the conversation. Usually when we discuss junkyard licenses, we specify the issues that we have with them. Here we started this meeting with just, talking to the owner or the representative, and we didn't specify what the issues were. And we already in this discussion maybe for 15 minutes. So what are the issues? And let's look at the possible solution, and let's just decide if we're going to move with this or not. That's it.
Right, well, let me just say this, you know what, the thing is that Councilman Velez brought up stuff that we did not know before. I did not know about a junkyard, and he's probably is correct. The junkyard, I mean, the auto, the sale, the auto sale was probably done before, so I didn't even know about the auto sale, because see, with auto sales, we don't have to get no renewal license for auto sale. For junkyard, yes, and when you look at junkyard, I don't expect a junkyard to have mechanical, meaning fixing cars. A junkyard is to sell parts. They bring in cars, they tear the car down, they sell parts out of it, and then the people move on and they go on. Now, when Velez brought in the idea about car lot, which is totally different. The car lot has nothing to do with junkyard. So, we're trying to figure out now.
So, Councilwoman.
And that's what's probably causing the problem, is the car lot and not the junkyard. The auto sales part.
So, Councilwoman,
I hear you.
why can't we get, going forward, I know we always changing things on them, but I thought it was as simple as, if there's other businesses in an address that is being used for a business, shouldn't we get a report of every business that's on the address? It just doesn't make sense, just because they're applying.
No, it doesn't, Council President, because auto sales, we don't get nothing about auto sales.
Councilwoman, what I'm saying is simple. Councilwoman, what I'm saying is this. They've been running the two businesses for a long time there. What I'm saying is, when they apply for this junkyard license, right?
Which is every year.
We should get a list of all the businesses that are being ran from that address. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so, because remember he said 94, 98 is the auto dealer. 88, 92 is the junkyard. So they're two different addresses. The dealership is
okay. So let me summarize this. Right now we're questioning the junkyard license. So we're discussing, just because the owner's here, we're discussing the other business right now.
Right.
If the other business is an issue, then we should address the other issue separately. That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand that.
So we shouldn't be commingling. There's two different things. We're not addressing the dealership. We're talking. This is a junkyard license.
No, I think that this Tony doesn't understand that he has a guy in there that is not doing right. And Tony may not be in there, but Tony, when he said he sublet, automatically that puts in my mind that this other person is doing stuff that I don't know.
So let's send the inspectors often in that area, Councilwoman, and we also send our aides to go through. I'm at large. I could send my aide to go. You also is your ward. We check it out. We check out the business. If the complaint is that they're open late at night, then we're gonna send somebody to check it out. If the complaint is that it's parking, then we gotta verify that those cars parked on the street are not from the dealer. Let me ask you.
President.
No, we understand that.
No, can we, hold on a minute, council member. Tony, please.
Sir, I'm actually agreeing with you. I just want to know what the concerns are.
Okay.
That's my point.
I know the councilwoman stated, she asked me a couple of questions. I felt like I answered them to my best ability. But all I just want to know is, if the guy that I'm working with,
okay,
right, his name is Juan Almonte. If there is an issue, because we speak on an everyday basis. This is not somebody that I don't know, that I have no relationship with him. I've had relationship with him prior to us getting into what we got into now. Right. So I speak with him daily. This is like a conversation daily. What's going on?
So Tony,
how's everything going on?
Tony, you asked the question.
If there's any issue that needs to be addressed, I would like to know what the issue is.
Let me ask you a question, Tony. Hold on a minute, Councilman Jackson. Hold on a minute. Tony, hold on a minute. Tony, do you have parking for your dealership?
Yes.
Do you have parking for the vehicles that? Go ahead.
Sir, so we have a dealership by the state because we need a dealership to purchase vehicles.
Correct, I understand.
Yeah, so I don't, when I say I have a dealership, I don't want.
You're not selling it, you're not selling the vehicles there, yeah.
Exactly,
You
I
purchase it.
can, yes, I can, but I don't purchase to sell, I purchase to buy, so we can strip the cars down.
So the situation we have here, Councilwoman, is the situation we have with every mechanic shop in the city of Paterson, right? They often park cars in the street, it's the same issue.
You know what?
We spending 30 minutes on a junkyard license and we're talking about something else.
Council President.
No, I understand that. I can understand but see, now I can just say to Tony, he's on notice, and he knows that he's gonna let his people know that there's some issue, have my ace keeper, I go around there all the time to James Car Wash, so I know the areas.
Councilwoman.
Yes.
We already spent almost 25 minutes on this item. Let's wrap it up. I'm gonna ask Mike Jackson Councilman Jackson to wrap it up, and we'll leave it at that. I didn't hear any comments on the junkyard. All we heard about was another separate business.
Council President.
No, wait a second. I didn't know about no other business. We
understand, Councilwoman.
Don't say that.
Councilwoman, what we have on the
about the other dealership later.
Councilwoman, what we have on the agenda right now is a discussion. It's a junkyard. That's all I'm saying.
No, Council President, you're confusing something.
No, I hear what he's saying. Let Councilman Jackson,
Let me let Councilman Jackson speak. Councilman Jackson.
So, thank you, Council President. And, the issue that we're having to the gentleman, Tony, is the fact that, we're here to address the community's concerns. So, and when the 4th Ward Councilwoman is having a concern and she's trying to address with her, for and on behalf of her constituents, all concerns are legitimate. Now, I'm not the 4th Ward Councilman, but I get calls for service as well. And here's a video at 9 p.m. in front of your establishment.
I can't see that. I don't know if I'm able to. How do I see the video that's being?
So I can share this video with you.
Okay.
I can make sure you get this video. But this is the constituent saying it's 9 p.m. and the music is blaring. They're recording this from across the street at possibly the 3rd or 4th level, and the music is blaring, and it's well in the evening, dark. You can see it's dark. There's 5 or 6 cars double parked. So there is a necessity for businesses to understand that they do not, your business does not own parking spaces on the street, and it should not be double parking, causing more traffic jams, and definitely should not be playing music this loud in the evening. And as a law enforcement agent of another municipality, I'm sure in Teaneck this would not be tolerable. So it's disappointing that as you as an owner of this establishment would maybe you don't know, so I don't want to say aloud, but you just stated that you're there frequently. You have a very good relationship with the person that you're subletting to, and the fact that you don't have an idea that this is going on. I've been getting these phone calls and text messages from residents in that building for several years now. And it's not just something that's just come up. It's come up now because your renewal, and in fact, I never knew that you were the owner. I never knew it was an African American that owned the business. I never knew anything about this establishment outside of receiving text messages from residents. And in fact, the resident she's texting me now saying, I need to speak. So, this is a very big concern. I don't think that it's diligent for the council to pass this thing over so quickly. It is worthy of a more lengthy discussion. The owner does deserve an opportunity to defend his position in his business, but at the same time, the council people who are tasked to make sure that the residents' best interest is taken care of, then we're here doing that job. As you are doing your job, I'm sure we're making sure the residents in Teaneck are, their best interests are being kept, in mind. With that being said, very quickly, I just have one question for you. Are you a resident of the city of Paterson, or was your father formerly a resident, or your family? Are you guys residents of Paterson?
My father was a formerly resident of Paterson.
Okay, but you're not.
Yeah.
No. So I wasn't able to really. I just seen parts of it. I'm on a cell phone, so I couldn't scroll right through it. But I seen the video. I mean, I understand that. I actually never seen that video before, so I'm actually glad that you posted it up because it actually brings me something to bring back to the table. But when it comes to double parking, when customers come in, this is during the day. This is 9 o'clock. But when customers come in, we tell them you can't double park.
So,
If I'm a big law enforcement guy, obviously I'm a law enforcement guy. But if there's going to be an issue, we can have cops come in and start ticketing.
Tony,
guys that double park.
Tony, just hold on a minute. Council members, we have an agenda here. Hold on a minute. Anything that's going to take this long, we should just table it in the future because we cannot spend half an hour on every item. We'll be here until tomorrow morning. Second, Councilman Melez brought a good point. The junkyard, what's the address of the junkyard? 8892, that's the whole,
No.
88-92, sorry.
Is that the whole?
No.
The whole place or just the junkyard?
That's the junkyard.
That's just the junkyard.
Alright,
The other address is 9498.
So how they don't come into?
Council President, let's just take it off for now.
please, let's just table it. Thank you.
We're gonna have a conversation with, I can't think of his name, our inspector that goes out,
Let's table it, please.
yeah, what's his name that goes out, the inspector?
I think it was Ralph.
Oh, yeah, Ralph Gabbatese. I would send Ralph a message, no, not me, I can't do that, but I have,
Alright,
the BA or a corporation counsel to send Ralph a letter that, we gotta have another conversation with Tony, the owner of Pike Motors.
Council President, maybe,
Councilman Belices.
maybe the councilwoman, the owner, whoever gets complaints,
Correct.
meantime could have a virtual meeting with the residents, with the at-large members also. Let the owner hear the concerns from the residents, they are your neighbors. And now that we have time, that you guys could set up a meeting along, and I know Councilwoman Khan fights for her residents nonstop. So maybe in the meantime, before the next workshop, they can have a meeting so he can hear the concerns and see how he is going to put concerns. That's something I would like to hear at our next meeting. Hopefully you guys can set that up.
Good suggestion, Councilman. Madam Clerk, can we move on to the next, we're gonna table this, Madam Clerk, to the next workshop?
So put it on the first workshop in February?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And before that, to the council at large people and to Tony and to Ralph Gabbatese and to the residents of that area here, we'll set up something, so he can actually hear from, from everybody.
Alright, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Tony.
okay.
Thank you, good evening. Have a good night.
Madam Clerk, there's an item here that was brought last minute,
Yes, sir.
and I have some concerns, so I'm gonna bring it up right away. Tony, thank you very much.
Is it the last item on the agenda?
Yes, number 45 is from the library, it's a grant.
Okay, it's a resolution approving the application for and authorizing the acceptance of the NEA Big Read 2019 to 2020 to Paterson Free Public Library.
Well, yeah, I have the same question that I normally have, Madam Clerk. Is Mr. Fleming here?
He's supposed to be on, he's.
No, he is, I see him there.
Yes.
There you go, yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Fleming?
There you go, sir.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I asked every time there's a grant application that we're to submit and also to accept a grant, is there a match for this grant?
There is a match for this grant.
How much is the match?
The match is $15,000.
Did we have this grant in the past?
I don't know if we've ever had this grant in the past from the.
That's it. I'll tell you why that's important.
Okay.
The CFO normally have to budget for any grants that normally have a match, and maybe he could have a separate line called match unknown for grants that come up like this.
Okay.
But we have to have a certification of funds with every grant application and acceptance that we're gonna submit that might have a match. We need to have, we need to certify the funds.
All right, so.
We don't even know if we have the money right now.
Okay, so let me just be clear. That's my fault because I'm still new to this process. However, the matching funds are from a line item from the library. As one of our initiatives, we're able to use the matching fund. So it's not costing the city any money. It's not coming through anything from the city.
So Mr. Fleming, just so you know, a lot of times the grantors, they require that you put the language in the body of the resolution because it tells them that the governing body acknowledges that there's a match, right? There is nowhere in this resolution that it states that there's a match required. Now, in your case, this actually, sometimes the grantors allow you to match a grant with, through an in-kind contribution.
Okay.
So what you just stated right now is an in-kind contribution. That doesn't require additional funds to be put into the grant. You're gonna match it with another service that you're already providing. That's called an in-kind contribution.
Okay.
If the grant is $15,000, and when the CFO sets it up, it needs to be set up for $30,000, now that requires a cash match from the city. That means that you have $30,000 to spend. With this grant, if it requires an in-kind match, you're only gonna have $15,000 to spend. I just wanna clarify that.
Okay.
That way you understand. So, does this have an urgency?
It does have an urgency. The reason why it has an urgency is because the grant has already been approved. The grant has already been in. The reason why is because it's coming from the federal government, and it had to come to the city. And in order for the city to accept it, I had to put a resolution together.
But that's the situation that we have. That's why we have a practice, and basically the council needs to give you the authorization to apply for a grant. Not every grant is good for the city. Councilman Morris used to state it often that just because someone is giving you money doesn't mean that you take it, because it might cause other expenses, and you might incur other expenses by accepting that grant. So that's why the governing body have to approve when you guys are ready to submit an application. We do a resolution to apply for the grants. I guess we didn't do that. So this resolution right now is to apply and accept. You already applied, so it's already done with. Now, to accept, we have to get some clarification. It's only $15,000. I want to ask the CFO, Mr. Silva.
Yes.
So right now, Mr. Fleming just stated that this is going to be an in-kind match. You don't have to actually put cash into the grant.
That's right.
Okay, so I don't have an issue moving this forward, but even an in-kind match, we want to see that on the body, because I don't want the grantor later on coming after us saying, look, that match actually require a cash match. It's only $15,000, but it could have been $150. It could have been $1.5 million.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And I'll take responsibility for that because I actually put it together, and I did contact the CFO, but I guess we're in. The federal government was actually sending the money, so that's why I wanted to at least, put it there.
That's fine. Sometimes they do. Sometimes things like this happen.
Yeah, I'll take responsibility for that, so.
No big deal. I just want you to understand the process. But thank you very much. We can move this. Put this on regular.
Oh, so Mr. President, if I may, yes, I have it for non-consent. Will I be getting another resolution because this one is not completed? Correct?
No, well, the regular meeting, we're gonna have to modify the body of the resolution to.
Oh, legal will have to give me another resolution to modify the language in the body.
To specify that an in-kind match is required.
Right, and also, does it need a certification of funds to be attached as well?
Well,
Not for an in-kind.
not for an in-kind, but sometimes the grantor wants you to specify where
Okay,
the in-kind is coming from. But yeah.
I will communicate with legal and have to take care of it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
President, I'll work with Director Fleming tomorrow to get that done.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Council President,
Sorry, I'm sorry, Council President, what number was that?
That was number 45.
Oh, 45, okay.
The last one on the agenda. Incline.
Council President,
Councilman Jackson.
Council President, who's actually responsible for the certification of funds?
The CFO, but this one doesn't require it.
I understand it doesn't require it, but you know, just for the record, you scolded the director, and
You know, scold the director.
I would have called it a scolding. I think,
No, I'm
you
just-
know, and in fact, the director owns responsibility for something that you know doesn't fall on his shoulders. You know, he's
Councilman,
working
I stated-
extremely hard. Council President, please. He's working extremely hard to make sure that the individuals, our young people in our community that are already, you know, being slighted, are getting the slightest bit of services, and he's being scolded for something that's not his responsibility. I mean, I think we have a tendency of putting the onus of things that don't belong to certain people on certain people's shoulders. And that's it's not fair. It's not fair, and we have the CFO that's sitting there, and you should have taken that issue up with the CFO.
First of all, Councilman, first of all, I did not scold anyone. You gotta go replay the video, that's one. Two, the CFO, this thing was submitted last minute because it was presented to Mr. Fleming late, so he had to present it to us late. So we didn't, that's why it was not even in the original agenda. This is an amended agenda that includes number 45. Second of all, there was no, I say this all the time, this is not the first time. This is like the 10th, probably the 7th time or 10th time that I've said this since I became a council member. We've been going at this, and council colleagues, you recall, I often talk about this. This is not, basically, it was no scolding, it's basically telling the administration and Mr. Fleming that in the future, this needs to be accompanied by a certification of funds if one is needed, and also when a match is required, it needs to be included in the body of the resolution. That was it. So I just prolonged this meeting again. I did not scold Mr. Fleming, so let's just leave it at that. Madam Clerk, let's continue that. We said we're gonna put this in
Non-consent.
you know what, put it on consent, Madam Clerk.
Put it on consent?
Yeah, consent.
Once I have everything okay, I will, okay. Mr. President, if I may, did you want to take care of the public portion since it's?
Yes, let's take care of the public portion.
Yeah, let's do this, okay, right. The public portion is now open, and the number to dial is 973-321-1579. 973-321-1579, enter code 8326. Press star 1 to listen to the meeting, press star 2 to leave a recorded comment, and star 3 to be added to the speaker list. Let me just check and see if there's anyone, Mr. President, for the public portion. Public portion is now open. Let's check with Ryan.
So, Madam Clerk, I think Mr. Fleming's still logged in. I don't think he has any more items in there, right? You're welcome to stay if you want, Mr. Fleming, but your item is gonna go on the consent agenda.
I think he said good night.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. Have a good night.
You're welcome. No one, Ryan? Mr. President, can we just give it 2 minutes and see if anyone will call in? Because I think Councilman Jackson said people were calling in. Okay, let's wait. I'll time them for 2 minutes. Just give them a second.
So I just want to remind, I don't have to remind the administration, they already know, but just because we're trying to provide a service to the community, that's all we do here, we still have to abide by the process and the laws. You know, I understand a lot of things sounds good on you know, to the public, but we still need we still need to have a responsibility here. I just want to put that on.
That's an unfortunate and unfair jab, Council President. It's not about what sounds good. It's about putting the responsibility of the correct people, the responsibilities on the correct people's shoulders.
I didn't
It's not
address.
the director. The director is trying to render a service. This council should aid in that. And
We are. It's on the consent agenda.
Pointing out the legality is very honorable and it's necessary. But it's the job of the CFO, not the director of the public library, to make sure that there's a certification.
Councilman Jackson, can you ask for the floor next time, please?
What you did to the director was very disrespectful.
No, I
may not believe so.
Councilman, how is it?
So,
Councilman,
but
you asked for the floor. Let's not start that today. Councilman,
Don't make.
Here we go again. Why can't we just have a regular meeting? Nothing is said when I read the administration with the same thing and everybody else.
Because you took a shot at me.
Councilman,
for pointing out your wrongdoing.
Councilman, please ask for the floor next time. Thank
Mr.
you.
President and Councilman, I don't want to lose the speaker. I think we have a
Thank
speaker
you.
on the line.
Yeah, let's continue to handle the city's business. Thank you.
Let me just get the speaker. Okay. Ryan, go ahead and put the speaker through. Please go ahead and state your name and address for the record, and you may begin. Let's give him a second. Or her. I'm not sure who it is. Give him a second. The speaker there? One person. Did it get disconnected?
I got disconnected. Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Okay, sir, you may state your name and address for the record, and you may begin. If you're there. Okay, got disconnected. Was that her?
That sounded like Director Spezial.
That's right.
That's why they sound like you.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. That was me that got disconnected, and I just called back in.
Oh,
Director, as your councilman, if you have any issues, you could call me. You don't have to go public portion.
I was very upset with you, Councilman, so I decided I was going public. Only kidding, buddy.
I got
All right, do we have the public speaker, Madam Clerk?
I think that's the person, Director Flevia. I don't see anyone else.
All right.
No, I'm on the Zoom meeting.
No.
Yeah, I came through the Zoom.
Director, your cell phone's also public on here.
Come in.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not worried about that, Councilman. But I came through the same way I came earlier.
All right, everyone, let's ask for the floor, please. Thank you.
The caller says he can't be heard. He can hear, but he can't be heard.
President, if I may, Ryan is going to try to call back that person. So give us a couple minutes, please. He's going to try to call back that person. Something went wrong. I don't know what it was. But the person was there. So Ryan's going to call back that person. Okay, they're gonna call back. Okay, Mr. President, we got the person. They're gonna call back in. Should be okay, I feel.
This is David Sue, 34 Van Houten Street, Paterson. Can I be heard?
Yes, sir, we're hearing you loud and clear. You may go ahead, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We had a little technical difficulty before. I just wanted to confirm it. All right, so the reason why I'm calling in, I've spoken with my ward councilman, Mr. Jackson, and I had proposed this idea that to create funds for COVID testing, that the mayor's salary could be reduced, perhaps by half. There is a couple aspects of this that I would want to address. One, I think that some action needs to be taken to punctuate what I consider to be gross irresponsibility on the part of the mayor and the administration. The funding to support the testing was quantifiable. We knew that the date that it would run out would not be too distant, and even in as early as October or November, the administration could have approached the city council, asked for additional appropriation, discussed the potential of a new insurgence of illness, which Dr. Fauci openly discussed in public discussion, in public forum, and be prepared. But to just let the funding expire, to reduce the amount of testing to 2 days a week against the recommendation of your health department director and common sense is grossly irresponsible. I've had the dearest of friends die from this disease. They caught it from somebody. Paterson is a city where not everybody has benefits, not everybody has resources for transportation, and we must make every possible effort to ensure the public safety. And if our mayor is glib or dancing at parties and singing with microphones, if he can't focus on something like making sure there's adequate funds to make sure that the public is not dying from a pandemic and spreading disease, I think there needs to be a response. And if he can't understand basic common sense and logic, perhaps reducing his pay would give him something that he can understand. And that's my opinion on the matter. And you do what you see fit. I would encourage you to put it on the regular agenda for a vote, because I think the discussion needs to be had. And I think that's a good way to do it. At the very least, even if it fails, it would create some level of heightened awareness and a greater sense of responsibility. And I thank you for my time before you, and if you have any questions of me, I'm welcome to hear them. Happy to hear them.
Thank you, Mr. Sue. Is there anyone else in the public portion? No, Mr. President, there's no other speaker for the public portion. I entertain a motion to close.
Move to close.
Moved by Councilman Abdelaziz, second by Councilman Mendes. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the public portion. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendes?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Velez? Councilman Velez? Listen, Mr. President,
Yes.
the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The public portion for the workshop session is hereby closed.
Madam Clerk, let me give the BA an opportunity. She wanted to address the speaker.
Okay.
Thank you, Council President. While I disagree with Mr. Sue on a few of his points, I did want to reiterate, just in case people had missed it earlier, he obviously did not hear this, but I want to make sure the public heard it as well, especially connected right at the same time of his thoughts. We are moving back up to testing 6 days a week. It was something that I had mentioned earlier that we were evaluating. Mr. Sue wasn't, I think, didn't connect the dots about a certain set of funding expiring, and that we had to evaluate how we were doing all 3 things: testing, contact tracing, and vaccinating, with all this current staffing of the health department and certain levels of funding. So I want to make sure the public does know and that they are aware that we are returning to 6 days of testing. Our regularly scheduled day was Wednesday, was tomorrow, and then we'll be releasing the rest of the schedule moving forward.
Madam DA, with all due respect, I didn't mean to contradict you, but in part, he is correct in part. This had to, this analysis, we knew since the money was given to us that it was going to run out at the end of the year. So all he stated makes sense. This is something that every administration and every municipality does. Is basically planned.
Council President, I think the difference was the vaccination piece. We weren't exactly sure what was going to be happening.
Sure.
There were a lot of things up in the air. That's what I'll tell you too.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
It's the interaction of it all.
Madam D, I'm not saying you're wrong. All I'm telling you is that that could have been assessed. That could have been assessed months in advance. It is funny that it took you only a week now to, come up with a solution. And this is what we're saying. This is the only thing that we're saying. So let's not continue with that. Let's go to the Madam Clerk. Can we do? If there's no issues with item second reading ordinances 5 through 9.
No, there's nothing from my end. Everything was published, so we should be good.
If none of the council members have any issue, let's put those on consent. Actually, I'm sorry, they're ordinances, so let's just move it to the second reading.
Right, so
Council President.
5 through 8.
5 through 9.
No,
5 through 8, then we have a first reading ordinance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So those are okay. All right, thank you.
Council President.
Yes, Councilwoman.
I don't have an issue with any of the items in particular, but I do because it's Public Works. And these are first and second readings, and I know that we have a new chair. So Councilman Mendez, I would like you to write these concerns down because I presented them before. 18th Ave, I reported it, I sent videos over to our traffic engineer for the possibility of four-way stops or some type of speed apparatus in that area, showing a lady in the area who is a senior that walks across the street and was almost hit by a car, and so many different issues. After that, the traffic engineer denied the request, came back, there was multiple car accidents in the same area, and since then, there was just another major accident in that area. So I want to put that on record. Councilman Mendez, and I know that's your ward, so I know it'll get done now. The next thing is another in your ward, East 26th and 7th Ave. Put in a request there for a traffic flashing light or a four-way stop, was denied the request. It stated that we will do certain conditions. We're gonna mark up the street, and then they put a small sign. If it wasn't so dirty and filthy, I was gonna bring it to the meeting so everybody could see. It was a small sign they put in the middle of the road, Councilman Mendez, you saw it, with 25 speed limit. A car had an accident, hit the sign is crumbled on the corner of East 26th and 7th Ave. I don't know how many more times I can ask 27th and Broadway for something to be done there. And so I just want to put it back on the record, the same. I know it's not on the agenda, but it's Public Works and this first and second reading. These requests, Councilman Mendez, please look into these areas before a catastrophe happens. And nothing is resolved over there. So I
Council. So I don't know if you wrote it, Councilwoman, but just send them an email if you don't mind.
Absolutely, I'm gonna follow up, but I wanted to openly, publicly, because I've done it privately. I see you, Al, you wanna rush, but if somebody gets killed over there, it won't be a rush. So I'm not rushing. I've been asking for 2.5 years. So I'm putting this on the record again before something happens in those areas. I want it on the record again. So I will send that to DPW once again to make these requests. Thank you so much.
I don't want to get off topic, but Director Rodriguez, last meeting we had an issue with, I think it was Auburn and 16th Street. There are some cones there for over a year, and we were told that an emergency contract was issued over a year, and we still got those cones standing up there.
We had other emergencies that were lined up before that one, that I stated in that meeting also. We had other emergencies that were lined up before that one, so they go on as we get them in. We have
Okay, so I just hope that I know Harry couldn't make it today, but if we have emergencies, then we need to issue it to different vendors. We cannot issues too many emergencies, because then it's not an emergency. If he could wait a year, it's not an emergency.
Council President, Madam BA, I'm gonna forward the email, cause there's an update to it that we got from Harry and Fred. So I'm gonna send it to you, Council President, of that.
But just so you know, we should not be given a lot of emergencies, because if something's done through an emergency, it's because it's an emergency. You know.
Well, I'm not here with the emergency. I just wanna send you the update on that area being a priority. So I just wanna send it to you, cause I have the same question, so I'll send it to you.
Councilman Matt.
Thank you, Council President, and, Councilwoman Mims, definitely, I got some notes about East 26th and 7th. Actually, the director and I, we had our meeting today, and that was one of the discussion, East 26th and 7th Avenue, also 18th Avenue, so we got that on the list. There's a large list of different locations, a lot of them in the third ward, like 11th Avenue and East 80 and East 81st, a lot of people on those locations, so our next meeting is gonna be on Friday at 1 o'clock because of Monday, it's a holiday, it's Martin Luther King Day, so I'll keep you posted on that, and we went through also through the new business that we have on the pipeline.
Council members, yeah, let's just conclude that. Let's continue. We don't want to start giving out requests in the middle of a workshop,
Council President.
No, and there's so many issues that I have had, please, I mean, like.
We don't have to do it here though, Council.
I know, but.
We have an agenda to discuss.
We understand that. Everybody wanna talk, and then when Councilman Nelson talk, we can't talk. But Councilman Mendez, I got a lot of stuff I need to send to you, please. I'm gonna send it to you tomorrow, please.
Please, we'll have a conversation. Hey, Council President, this is important, Council President. The East 26th and 7th Avenue, the location that Councilwoman Means is talking about, that sign, I saw that sign early in the morning. Anybody could have a really bad accident, and the city is gonna be responsible for that. And that's the reason why I put the meeting together with the director to go over that. I think those comments are important, but moving forward.
They are important, Councilman, but the comments are important. I never undermine the comments. I just don't want to encourage every council member now to bring in, because we get calls all the time. I could give you a few right now, but that it doesn't serve the purpose of this meeting. Councilwoman Mims, I understand hers because she's been saying this now for 2 years. We all have valid, things to report, but let's not give an opportunity to every council member now to report 15, 20 spots. Could we just continue with the agenda?
Council President.
Yes, sir.
Let's just continue with the agenda.
Council President.
Let's go to Madam Clerk. Let's do number.
The first reading, Mr. President, number 9, is that okay for first reading?
If no one has an issue, number 9.
Okay.
Let's put that on regular if no one has an issue.
No, it's for first reading. It's for first reading, so it just, okay.
Yeah, for first reading, I'm sorry.
This is the first reading. So we're moving on to number 10 was asked to be removed by finance.
Number 10 is going to be removed. Councilman Abdelaziz, you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, since we're on public works, we should have just took public works as items on the agenda.
No, we're just going to continue it down. Let's just continue.
Council President.
Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Council President. So we okay in the second reading one, correct?
Yes.
That's what we said, yeah.
No,
Where's number 6 at on 25th Street?
We already.
I know, but I didn't hear it, like, what part of 25th?
896, it's in the resolution. It's 896.
896.
Okay.
Alright.
We need the address on this, we need the address on there, 896.
It's on the resolution.
Alright, let's.
Resolution.
So, Madam Clerk, could we put 12 through 16 on regular?
That's through 16, okay, 12.
Council President.
I'd be a co-sponsor for,
Council President.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Abdelaziz, what do you wanted to say something?
can I be a co-sponsor for Mark Strong, for number 13?
Sure.
Council President.
Councilwoman Mims.
I just want to put on record, Madam Clerk has it, and so does Madam Council. The sponsors for item number 12 is myself, Councilwoman Cotton, and Councilman Jackson. It was sent that way, but it wasn't printed, but they have it, so it will be updated for the 19th.
Council President.
Councilman Velez.
Councilwoman, to the chair, Councilwoman Lisa Mins. I know that you're the sponsor of number 12. I will honor, if you could honor my request to be also co-sponsor, to honor all the black people of color also from the Latino community. Is if you could allow me to be co-sponsor also there, because Black History Month is not only Afro-American, it's all people of color. So in the past,
She didn't say otherwise though.
I did,
I just want to be co-sponsor. If you could
He did
allow.
not say that because when.
I just wanted to identify
Could we ask for the floor, please?
Council President, I'm sorry,
Councilwoman Mims.
since he was addressing me.
Sure.
I think it would be prudent that the entire council be the co-sponsor of the item.
Great. That's what I was waiting for.
I agree.
That
Thank you.
we were the sponsors because it was sent in that way. And
Yes.
Madam Clerk and the Madam Council is aware, so I just have it on record so that everyone are aware. But all the items, whatever you see, co-sponsors, or, for me, for my items, let it be the entire council. We shared this together, we're better together.
That's right. Thank you, Councilwoman
Thank you,
Mims.
Councilwoman. Thank you.
All right.
You're
So,
welcome, brother.
12 through 16 on regular,
Yes, I have,
on non-consent.
okay. 17, point operated laundry.
Do we have any issues with any of those finance items, 17 through 21?
Council President, may I say something before you move on?
Councilwoman Cotton.
On the item number 14 with, memorializing the life and legacy of Ada Downing, they're doing, they're doing a memorial service, on her on Zoom or something. And, her son wanted the resolution, but they got resolution, she's a Delta, she's an NAACP member, and he had requested, about the city council. And I was wondering, can we release it to him? To put on the it's a memorial service they're doing, I believe on the 18th.
Yeah,
We're not voting until the 19th.
That's what I'm saying, it's a request. If you don't want them to, he wants to put it on the memorial service that they're doing Zoom. She's not having a funeral, cause everything is done by Zoom.
Could we have this conversation at another time, Councilwoman? Let's see what we could do about this, okay?
Okay.
If we don't want to discuss it, then the answer is no, because we haven't voted.
I'm saying,
We haven't voted on this yet.
nobody's not gonna vote no. Not one council member sitting there is gonna vote no when we vote on it next week. Not one council
All right.
ever voted no on anybody memorializing someone that has died.
It's the legality of it.
I understand that.
All right. So let's continue.
17 through 21, is that okay with everyone? Were you considering to put these on consent, Mr. President?
Consent.
Yeah, let's put them on consent.
17 through 21, 21, okay. So we're moving on to 22 and 23, Health and Human Services.
Consent.
Okay.
Who's number 22 and 23?
I recommend consent, Mr. President.
Yes, just give me a minute.
I
Yes,
agree.
Councilwoman Mims.
I agree with Councilman Abdelaziz. These are items that were previously approved, so this is just the award of the contract that this council approved in the past.
I thought it was changed. Was it changed? Cause I wasn't at the Health and Human Services meeting.
Councilman no was not changed. The only thing that was changed was the disbursement of funds to nonprofit agencies within the city of Paterson that they heard from the last meeting.
All right.
So
Yeah.
this is a separate thing.
So 22 and 23. Let's put those on non-consent.
Okay.
Okay.
Why?
It's contracts. Let's just vote on it. It's contracts.
Oh, you don't, okay.
Yeah, let's just vote on those separately.
All right. So we go to 24, these are for police department, 24.
Council President, just for the record and our council colleagues, any questions on 22 and 23?
No, not right now. I might have some next week. Right now, I don't have any questions.
Council President, I know right now, that's what a workshop's for.
Yeah, but what happens, Councilman, there's other things that you look at after the meeting, and then discussions arise. So one council member might have a comment, that might lead to another question. That's why I passed the comment.
That may be by any other council members, if they have it, please forward it to the director if possible, so we could,
Sure.
hopefully our council meetings are not as long as usual, so that's
Right,
why.
but you know what, then, okay, then that's the case, our director, Chair.
Councilwoman, ask for the floor, please. Councilwoman Khan.
Sure.
Councilwoman Khan.
I know that, the only thing that changed for, number 22, Chair of Health and Human Services was that it went from 288,000 to what, 150,000?
Correct. So it wasn't that it changed. We made an application to the budget because Trinity was included in that nonprofit budget. But as we follow the cities for financial empowerment, the training comes from the city. So it was a modification. We did put the RFP back out because of that modification, and United Way was the only one that applied. That is for number 22.
And 23 is what,
23 is the grant from CFE. So we would have to approve 23 first. This is the actual award of the grant from them. And then we would award the funds to United Way.
all right, that's 150, and then we're giving United Way, 200.
Correct. So we've already received the funding from the banks who are partnering with us.
Okay. Oh, that's when we had the problem with it. The banks gave us the money, but we had to figure out how to put it in the budget.
Correct. So they've given us, and we finalized that agreement. That's attached on number 23.
Where's the certification of funds on that one, Javier? I saw the one on 22. The one on 23, where is it?
For the cash match, we did it, I believe, before the 29th. So
No. What I'm saying is, where's the certification of funds for this,
yeah, for the cash match, right? 35,000.
City of Paterson?
For the receiving
20. Yeah, 23 is just the receiving of the grant, Council
of
President.
the grant.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
The cert is on 22. We're
All
giving,
right, sounds good. I
Council
thought you was awarding a contract with that one also, just 22.
no, just 20.
All right, got it. All right,
Council President,
Councilman Velez.
just quick question regarding the award contract to United Way. I don't know if the director could answer this quickly without taking the time. I don't want to delay this meeting what it is. What was the process to choose or pick United Way? And any other nonprofit will participate? Do they put a proposal or how they was?
So we, just like any request for proposals, we did submit this out twice. Because of the modification, we made to the budget, we wanted to make sure it was clean. So first in the summer, we submitted or advertised, through purchasing the request for the proposal. At that point, if I'm not mistaken, it was 4 agencies that applied. We went through the process of scoring the agencies. And there was an award there. There was a budget modification. So in order to make sure that it was clean, we advertised it. All the agencies, through the proper channels, through purchasing, and this time United Way was the only one that applied.
Are they all still operating from 301 by the mall?
Yes.
Okay, so good. I'm good with that. Thank you. Okay.
Council President, I just
Yes,
want
Councilman Velez.
this is something that we've had in our committee for a while. It's been coming from the council. We always talk about home ownership, first-time home buyers, right? A lot of the time, the people can't buy homes because they can't get their credit score up. They don't know the process of going on, right? You have to go to these agencies and pay money to get it up. This is the first step to start the process for our residents to buy homes. No one could get in the house, and Councilman Alex Mendez will let you know. If your credit's no good and you can't get approved for a loan, a real estate agent won't even meet with you, right? So the first step is cleaning up your credit, getting on a plan, and this is gonna allow our residents start that first step, clean up your stuff. This is what you have to do. Get the counseling services, right? Many of us we know families that have credit issues. So hopefully, this is the last step, and the director has worked very, very hard with this. This is the first of I've seen in Paterson offering some sort of financial services for our residents, and this is gonna help out. Sure, if you look at their agreement, 480 sessions of counseling services.
So, Council President.
So I just want to
reflect, there's been a lot of work on this, and because we've been in committee, and she's very passionate about this, so I give kudos to her, and hopefully we get this through the finish line so we can start getting people in the door. and then they can start calling Councilman Mendez to buy some houses, and we get there, right, Councilman?
Thank you, Councilman. Hold on a minute, Councilman. Javier, we still need, this is an agreement, and this requires a match. So for the next meeting, have the certification of funds attached to this, if you don't mind.
35, yes.
And also, Councilman Abdelaziz, yes, it is easy to get excited, but I'm gonna use a line from Councilwoman Mims. I need to see a report on a maybe a quarterly basis of what we're doing with this money, because now my experience here is a lot of things make a great press conference. I want to make sure that we actually are benefiting from the programs that we put in place and that they're being executed. All I've seen since I've been here, people are going to say that I'm being critical, but it's desperate times. A lot of times I just want things to be executed. I want accountability from the administration. If we're setting aside $100,000, we didn't have money. Although this is important, we were pulled on hold the testing, but then we have all these projects that we put money aside for. I just want to make sure that this is actually benefiting the residents. And the reason I'm saying this, Councilman Abdelaziz, if you could recall, a few months back, I had an issue because we were reallocating first-time homebuyers money to give to developers, because no one in a city that has a need like we do, no one could take advantage of those funds. It was $150,000. And I don't think the issue was credits. I don't think the issue was having bad credit. I just want execution, and I want to make sure that this administration is acting responsibly with the resources that we are actually approving. That's all I need to say.
Hopefully the people from the FEC will now push people to the first-time home buyer and say, hey guys, your credit's good enough, you can get this from CBDG, and it's a connection.
Council President.
So Councilman,
Hold on a minute. Councilman Velez, hold on a minute. Council Director, please.
yeah, so I absolutely appreciate it. We are following the exact role model from the CFP Foundation. We will be doing reporting. We're just starting. So all of the banks that are partnering with us believe in this project as well, and the money will go directly to United Way for counseling, and we will be monitoring the program. So we will be having reporting as well. We're trying to figure out if it's quarterly or every 6 months or however CFP actually has it programmed. So we're following the direct model that we can share with the Human Services and the Council as well. So we'll see the amount of, there is a dashboard that we'll be presenting to the Council that will show you the amount of people that are being seen, whether it's how many individuals have saved, have fixed their credit. So there will be proper data provided with this program.
Thank you. Councilman Velez and Councilman Cotton.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Abdelaziz just made a great point. It's good to train them. It's good to educate them. But at the same time, send a message to community development that when the CDBG money comes in, they don't have no excuse to grant those money to pass on a resident that they want to come to be a first-time home buyer. The other thing is, let the record reflect. I don't know if Councilman Abdelaziz there, okay, that he made a statement in public that get ready those residents and to get ready to buy their home, their home, and call Alex Mendez for get him a house. But that's a conflict of interest. That was a joke that he made, Councilman Abdelaziz. Make the record reflect that you cannot get involved and sell and take a benefit from the city after they.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cotton, please.
Thank you. Oh goodness, we know that he can sell a house to anybody. Like it doesn't matter. I just want to say that.
Exactly. Teach him, Councilman.
Yeah, he can tell it, Alex Mendez. But I just want to say, I remember
when. Let him know, Councilman Kine. Let him know.
Yeah, I just want to say to Director O'Sheen, and I was always on board from day one with this Financial Empowerment Center, and that's because it's not just buying a home. It's about getting credit. It's about starting a business. It's about a whole lot of other things. People always just think of home. But, you can start a business. You can, do other stuff. Get your credit right. Do all this stuff. But let me say something to you. Councilwoman Davila and I were in the meeting with the banks, and every last one of those banks, they have a foundation. And each one of those foundations it was a female leading those foundations. And when Councilwoman Dowling and I came in as councilwoman to sit in on this meeting, to see that the passion that we had, that we wanted to help the community and our people in our city to get credit right, to be able to do this, to be able to buy that, to go forward. So the problem that we had, we didn't know what to do with the money that was donated. That's why I got behind again. But I'm telling you, I've been telling everybody in the city, and the people are looking forward. Director O'Sheen, people are looking forward to this project. To Kathleen Long, people are looking forward to this, of getting things done right. So I needed to put that out there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But it's
Councilwoman.
I can just say one more thing. I just want to thank council for all of the members that they have added to the advisory board. They have been phenomenal. We'll continue to work with them. And Councilman Mendez will be talking about adding your board member as well, because they've been extremely supportive of this project and have worked extremely hard. So thank you.
Thank you, Director. All right. So, Madam Clerk,
Yes, sir.
can we continue with number 24? Those
That's 24 through 32 for police.
correct.
I think the director, he's on.
Jerry, are you still around? Sure.
Yes, I'm still here, Council President. They're all pretty much. I have also Sharon, Lieutenant Sharon Eason, who does the community policing grant, in case there was any questions on that. She's also on.
Could you just give us an overview of number 27? Is it a resolution authorizing a shared service agreement with Essex County Police Academy?
Yes.
The Paterson, just to train them there?
Yeah, here's what happens. Because of COVID, I was looking, we couldn't get the numbers we needed in Bergen County. Passaic County wasn't holding a class. I was looking at Middlesex. I was looking at Mercer. I had talked to everybody around the state because we need police officers. So what I did is I spoke with Essex County. This is the first time we used them. And you'll notice there I spoke with Chief Bakora and told him in good faith to the residents and to you and the governing body and the administration, we're using asset forfeiture funds to pay for the 19 recruits that'll come out in February, March, depending on COVID. And they've done a great job over there for us. And, we entering into that agreement with them so we can pay them when it's all over. It'll probably be about $2,000 a recruit, so that's why it's up to the 46. We're at 19 people. And it's at an asset forfeiture.
All right, thank you very much. Council members, the rest of the resolution for the police, so 24 through 32, are resolutions that we have entertained in the past.
They could get consent, Council
So
President.
can we put those on consent?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So 24 through 32 consent.
Yes, I have those. So we will want to 33 through 35 for the EPW.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to thank everyone. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Council members. And thank you, Lieutenant. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Jeremy, you still got fire department.
Is Chief McDermott on?
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, Chief is here.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think Chief's handling the FD on that.
Okay.
If you need me, I can stay on. It's not a big deal. I'll stay on for now. I'll be on if you need me.
No, we like you, Jerry, but I think you don't have to be. You could stay if you want, but you don't have to.
You got it, Council President. Thank you, Chief McDermott. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, 3 for public works, 33 through 35. One is a award of contract, tree service. Councilman.
Yes, Council President,
Yes.
For number 33, the director, you wanna jump on? We just met today and after we covered those three resolution 33. This company. This is a very important company because they're gonna jump with DPW to help us when we have to remove those trees and cut those trees that are connected with a power line. Number 34, and Director, I have just a question for you, number 34, but we went over 34.
Mr. Chairman, I have questions on 33.
Let's just stop right there, Councilman Mendez. Councilman Telesis.
Yes.
Council President, I do have a few questions, and I texted the director for the tree services. So this 40,000, what does it service us?
It gets us a tree company to come in when we call them. It's not to exceed $40,000 right now for, it's mostly gonna be used for when we can't get PSC&G in for like power lines, trees that are power lines that we have, causing, stuff like that.
So my question is this, Director, and this is, I know you guys are overworked, and there are emergencies, and I've always told, my requests are on the list, right? And I'm sure probably other council members get constituents that call for tree removal, and I don't know what kind of list this is, because I've been waiting, right? Does this company help on that list for constituent calls?
Yeah, it could. We're gonna use the company as a tree service company from certified electrical wires down to removing stumps, whatever we could get. If we need to extend the contract, it's a state contract. We'll come back to the council to amend it. But we think we're good with the $40,000 that it's at right now.
Have we done this before?
We have in the past, not. I think the first tourist administration, they had a contract in place for this, but not since then.
No, I'm not against this, Director. I'm actually, because like I stated, I've given requests for my constituents about tree removals, and I've been on the list for months and some almost a year. And I know one tree on Alabama and Trenton, the resident contacts me every day. He has, the branches almost going through his bedroom window. He's gonna start planting stuff on there, hanging stuff, Christmas trees on it. But we may need to exceed this. Is there a plan in place that if we don't get to something in a certain amount of days, that this company could go in there and help us? And I'm not talking about the emergencies. I'm talking about what our residents when they call for it. Because right now, are you up to date with the tree requests for residents, if it's branches or stumps or anything?
No, there's a lag in service calls for the shade tree department. We just had a major fall in Eastside Park, which destroyed the playground, which that took them 3 days to remove all the stuff out of Frank Rottenberg's park. So we know that was a big job. We only got 6 guys in that crew, and when it's a job like that, it's all hands on deck.
All right.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Mims and Councilwoman Cotton.
And me, Council President, too.
I'll give you the floor later. Councilwoman Mims.
Thanks, Council President. So just to piggyback, Councilman Al, you stole my thunder. So just to add to that, I asked previously that, and now that we are putting in place this engineering department, I think it would be prudent for the work that should be done with that department as we look towards bringing in project managers or these management specialists, that we do an assessment and create a detailed plan or priority listing of tree trimming issues across the city. I want to put it on the record, Broadway, the trees that are on Eastside Park area from the bottom coming up the hill and down all the way up needs a real good trimming. And there's so many others throughout the course of the city, not just tree trimming, but we need to identify old trees that we have. Those are the ones that uproot out of nowhere. So I'm just putting that request on the list. I know this is for 40, but if we can do that and make a priority listing, and then we can quantify, do a needs-based assessment, Council President, I know you like that word, a needs-based assessment, we can identify what the real cost is, and we can help get some of this work done to avoid any occurrences in the future. Thank you, Council President.
Councilwoman Khan, before you go, can I ask a question to the director? Who was doing this in the past? If it was the first Joey Torres administration.
Nobody. Who's the company?
No. Let's not say, Councilwoman, let him respond, please. Who was handling this function in the city?
You mean outside contractor?
No. We didn't have an outside contractor. You were doing this in-house.
We still do it in-house.
Okay, so what has changed is my question.
Council President, This contract is being in place for when we can't get into power lines. PSCNG doesn't service us on power lines all the time. This is the major function of this contract. We would utilize this contract for other functions of shade tree as tree trimming, tree removal, stuff.
Director, that's why I asked the question. So you mean to tell me that, let me see, you said first Joey Torres administration. So over 10 years now?
I don't get your question.
Okay, the question is simple.
No, it's not. I don't get it.
Okay, so I guess it's not simple. Director, you stated that we didn't hire a third party to do this before. So my question is simple. Who was doing it during the past 10 years or more?
We would do it in-house.
That's what I just said, so the question was
And
simple.
I answered you before and you said no.
Okay, so you still have, I'm looking at the budget here, you have 1 million, the older budget. This is state fiscal year 2020, the one that ended in July. You have $1,475,000 in your, just for salaries, in your division of Parks and Shade Tree. And you also have, in other expenses, you have another $678,000. So my question is, why the need all of a sudden? Like, the money's there, the resources are still in place. I'm sure that back in the day when the administration decided not to hire a third party, they put more money in those budgets. If we go back to that time that this division was put together, I remember asking questions. Do we have the equipment for this, Director?
We just bought a chipper, and we are waiting on the stump grinder. Once we get these in, we're going to be working with the fire department, their head mechanic, to fix our old equipment, which he said he might be able to get back on the road for us.
So council members, my concern is, listen, it starts at $40,000. This is probably something similar. I brought something up the other day. I'm going to ask for an update later on a conversation I had with the mayor with a different idea that I had for something else. But my idea was not supposed to cost the taxpayer any money at all. But this right here, why can't we do the work is what I'm saying.
Council President,
I'm speaking to the director, Councilman.
We could do the work, and I'm going to say it again. The majority of this work is going to be for when the lines, the trees are in power lines, which PSCNG are not responding. We need to get these trees down. They're hazardous, and they're sitting there because we're not certified to remove those trees out of.
So PSCNG used to do it in the past.
They would come out, but they're not coming out as they used to come out. They have they have the whole state to look after, and whatever else they're doing, they can't. We used to have them here every Thursday. Now they come whenever they come. They'll send us a date. They don't do that anymore.
So we need to hold them to the fire, though. The same way Councilman Abdelaziz has reached out to them and get all those roads paved in the 6th Ward. We need to ask. We need to hold them accountable.
Yeah, we did ask.
Okay, we need to continue to talk to them. And those things don't arise overnight. I just have an issue that we have this, and all of a sudden now, council have requests. It's not just going to be for power lines. My concern is this is going to be used for a lot of things. So my question is, what are our employees going to do during this time?
They're going to be doing the same work. The same work.
Well, I have my reservations. So, Madam Clerk, could you put this on regular?
Yes.
Because if I have my feelings about the operation, and listen, since I've been a councilman even before, I have my concerns about how things are being ran in that department. So it's not like go ahead, Director.
No, I said we know that. I'm agreeing with you. I know you got your reservations about.
Nobody's asking you anything though. So that's the issue here. There's no respect. There's no accountability in the city.
You don't have no respect for anybody.
That's
Here you go.
very disrespectful.
Thank you, Madam BA. I
Council
remember.
President,
Yes.
Council President, if I may.
Councilman Jackson.
So, and not to defend anyone, I mean, it's just rather, that was a very disrespectful comment, but I'll leave that where it is. The director's big enough to defend himself. If we all are active members in this city, we should understand the difficulties that we're dealing with. The last 10 years, in fact, I remember a friend who was the head of the Shade Tree who passed away many, many years ago. The same cherry picker that was used then is used now. They just got a chipper recently, to be able to do some of the work where the trees that was left on the side of the road. I don't think they have all of the necessary equipment, and it's about 4 guys. I don't know. I believe 4 or 5 guys in that department that I see. I don't know what I'm not on the DPW committee, and I don't know what they are, but I do know I see those guys. These are very good people from the city who do work hard. Your commentary is not just disrespectful to the director, but it's disrespectful to those employees who bust their hump and then are told that they can't roll over their vacation time or whatever. So these are the same employees being mistreated by the administration, and then they have to deal with your disrespect further. That's disrespectful. We have not given them, I can see if we've outfitted them with all the equipment that they need to take care of certain circumstances. It's a very big city. Maybe about 8, 9, 10 years ago, the city decided to plant trees all over the city. We all get complaints. Clinton Street, the trees overrun the street. They grow from one curb to the other on both sides. But for me to sit here and pounce on them when I know they're working on a shoestring with a pocket knife is disrespectful to them. They sit here and bust their hump the same way to anybody else. The fire department is outfitted with the absolute best equipment, and we praise them all the time, which they rightfully so. They might deserve it, but they get new equipment every single year. This department is the most deprived, the most mistreated, and the most disrespected department in the city. And for you to be the council president and sit here and badge on the director because of whatever personal issues you might have is disrespectful. Because we have not done our part. No, I'm not done.
I don't know where else you're going with this. Continue, please.
I mean, I'm just making sure.
I'm gonna respond.
Okay, well, go ahead, respond.
Okay, my response is simple. Council members, when I started on this council, we asked them to provide everything they needed through the capital plan. And let me be clear, I did not pass any comments about the employees in DPW. I'm talking about the job getting done, just the job getting done. I'm speaking on behalf of the taxpayers that are complaining about, you remember the first year when I came into office, there was no sweepers. There were like 1 sweeper or 2. Don't laugh, Councilman Velez, because you were probably the DPW director. And there was only 1 sweeper there, right? 1 sweeper.
Director?
Hold on. He was, committee. So, council members, just hear me out for a minute. There was no sweepers. We suggested they put in the capital plan. First year, no capital plan was submitted. Maybe the director submitted, but the administration didn't submit it to us. So it's the same thing. He's not just blaming the director. I'm blaming the administration. The director's under the administration. All I'm saying is, recycling has been an issue even before COVID. There's articles out there. We have issues the whole first year in office. I was told that the work was not being done because they didn't have equipment. We got them the equipment. I just want to stop making excuses. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing my due diligence. Nobody should take it personal because I ask a question. I say, your budget haven't changed, right? You have the resources in place. No one should take it personal. This is my job here. We gotta actually hold people accountable. That's what we're doing. That's all we are doing. I did not mention one time that the employees for DPW did not work. I always fought for them to get the equipment that they needed to get the job done. I also have asked the administration, often that they're underpaid, that we need to look into that. Right? But the problem that we have here is that some council members are selective. Some council members grab some departments and just destroy them for whatever reason. I'm going to reserve my comments of why I think some people just get targeted. I treat everyone the same. I treat everyone the same. Councilman, I haven't finished. I treat everyone the same, and I just want to put that on the record that all I'm doing is my due diligence as a councilman, and I'm asking the questions. I just don't understand why council members or directors need to get offended. I pass a comment based of my assessment of what has taken place in the 2.5 years. The parks are a mess. Everything's a mess. Am I saying the employees are doing it? No. But I'm asking the administration to do something about it. That's what I'm asking. And I'll leave it at that. Councilman Kalik.
President,
Councilman Kalik.
Well, you said it, what I was gonna say, Council President. 2 years ago, when this administration came in, we asked every department, specifically the DPW, to put their capital plan in. Whatever they need. If we need to bond the money, we even said it in the council meeting, we'll bond the money so they are fully equipped. So now if they're complaining about equipment, where is the capital plan? We gave them an open check, in other words. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm tired of hearing excuses, that's all.
I didn't complain about equipment, it wasn't me.
No, I'm not
Take
saying.
back for the floor, just in general, we're talking about.
I heard Councilman Jackson said you guys don't have the chippers for the trees and whatnot. So if everything in place, why do we have to outsource?
Our residents don't need excuses anymore. Our residents need results. We need to improve the operation of the city. So when is enough? Director. Unmute yourself.
As far, and I'll get your report, by this time next week. I'll go to the other municipalities, surrounding us to find out who has tree service, outsourced companies. I'm sure most of them do. The county does also, I believe. This is just a practice that is used when you don't have the, when the workload is too heavy. The workload is heavy out there for us, for anybody. If we had 6 crews, the workload would still be heavy.
Well, that's the assessment that we need to see, because, just by someone saying this, we noticed being here, I noticed a lot of times the administration went to hire just more people. Last time we had all these postings, job postings, just because we need them all of a sudden, the people. But we need to know a reason why. We need to have an assessment why we need this. That's all. Councilman Velez.
Council President, I just want to add this statement. And I don't know that probably the directors could agree with me on this, but out of the 4 or 5 employees that the shredded and tree department have, not all of them are certified to go over the power lines. I believe only one individual.
None of them are.
None of them are. And we used to have one, and it's all now working in the state. So they got better pay. So
PNG.
Hold on. We understand that PCNG, we could dump the problem to PCNG, of course, but the director explaining that they used to be every Thursday. Now, because the power outage that have been around the state, they backload work. We're not justifying the responsible PCNG, but this is a way to move forward a little bit of work or advance some work that our employees cannot even go. And not to be in the defense, Councilman Michael Jackson just stated, there's some words that probably you speak and if you do it in general, and then you try to justify. You stated that you had some reservation with the DPW department, how things are done.
I said it for 2 years.
So don't say that you're not talking about employees.
No.
You're not talking about this. When you talk general, that you say that you have reservation about how DPW is operating.
Councilman, your whole 5th Ward have reservations about the work that DPW is doing.
Listen, let me tell you. Listen, see now you go personal with me, sir. And I don't want to do this with you, sir. You don't even visit the 5th Ward. So you could take any gossip for anybody.
I eat empanadas by your house. What are you talking about?
Listen,
no, I'm kidding.
That's the only thing you know how to do. Eat.
That's right.
So let me don't start with me, brother, because I could go a little bit further.
Point of order, Councilman.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I go, you
Yeah, Councilwoman, and then we're gonna conclude this. We're gonna go to the next item.
So, and I can understand because, I was trying to look at the resolutions, number 33, you said it's 40,000, and it's, what I believe that's happening is that I have a tree, that's all over this lady's house, and she can't get her roof fixed because the tree is leaning on her roof, so it gotta be done. I just wanna say that, Director, this 40,000 is gonna be eaten up really quick. Because we got so many stuff, especially on Governor Street between Auburn and Strait. like Councilman Jackson said, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, the city planted all these trees throughout this entire city, and what it has done is caused a major problem all over the city with they overgrown, the sidewalks are broken up, and it's just something. So I think that as soon as we can get started, Director, we're gonna get started with doing what we need to do. And then if you gotta come back for us, because we don't have enough employees, a lot of stuff has been put on the side or on the back burner for a little while. We gotta get it going now.
So, Madam Clerk, could we put this on non-consent?
Number 33, yes, I do.
Non-consent.
I do have it, sure.
All right,
let's go to number 34.
34, Council President, number 34, with, that's the resolution authorizing the award of contract with Natural Green Law Care on the vocational service. That resolution is to do the maintenance on 3 different parks: Bennington Park, Barley Field, and Barkley, 4 times in a year. So Director, you could just
Councilman, it's Pennington Park, the soccer and up baseball field, Buckley Field, and Marshall Street Park, Brandy's Field. This is a renewal of a contract. We're just adding the 2 new fields onto it. But we do the same contract every year for the maintenance. It's 4 times a year they come out. They give us their core tests. We get the turf broomed up, get all the seeds or the gums out, put the little the knobs back in for the cushion. We do it 4 times a year.
Hey, Council President, I just have one question that to the Director. We didn't have a chance to talk about this, and it's about the warranty. I know the one in Marcia is almost brand new,
Yeah.
So do we have any warranty with this company that are coming into? Separately, the maintenance is separately.
Yeah, the maintenance we got the turf comes with an 8-year warranty. So each field, Brandy's and Buckley, came with an 8-year warranty.
But that will depend on the maintenance that we do on the field,
and that's why we do this maintenance. That's why we do this maintenance, to keep the warranty.
Okay, on the next meeting, I would love to go a little bit more deep into this, because I know that the key for us to maintain those fields for a longer, period of time is based on the maintenance that we do. So I think I would like to go a little bit deeper on that. So I definitely, marshes look beautiful, and definitely we need more work done in some other parts,
Yes, definitely Commons definitely needs it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's put that on.
Number 34.
Yeah, put that on consent.
34 is consent. I got it. Thank you. Number 35, the water contract too.
Yeah, number 35, that's awarding the contract to. I'm sorry, go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was talking.
Yeah, let Madam Clerk read it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Okay, number 35 is resolution authorizing an award of contract to Bananomi and Bennett Architects LLC for the design and construction administration for the renovation of the Fieldhouse for engineering and public works. They have RFP number.
And Engineer Fred is on if anyone has questions.
So Fred, I have a question. Let me unmute you. So Fred, this is just for the architect cost, $126,000.
That's correct, Council President.
So I just want to remind my colleagues that Burley Field, this is a commitment that the mayor made, and with the school district, I guess. I want to know, is there any changes to the cost associated with this improvement?
As of yet, no. Right now, the original budget that was presented was for approximately $1.6 million. Keep in mind that we have done only the first phase of design. We have not done phases 2 and 3. That's what this RFP is going to put us in a position to do, is to continue with the design as well as the construction administration for the first phase.
So what's the projected total cost? 1.6, or is there more that we have spent already on this?
Right now, it's the budget is 1.6. That's the budget that the architect is going to be given to design to. But the design hasn't been done, and we still have a year of construction ahead of us. So
no, what I'm saying is, what have we done there so far?
Nothing. We've,
Okay.
first phase has been designed, has been bid, and is ready to go into construction. With this contract, we will have the ability to do the construction management.
$1.6 million. You know, Fred, I have, and Councilman Delacis, I see you right now. I have some reservations because, Councilwoman Mims, I see you also. Fred, I have some reservations because I understand that sometimes these companies, tend to charge, tend to be expensive on certain things that they do. I remember asking the director of DPW how much would it cost to do a bathroom and a concession stand, and he told me $500,000 that this company charge. And I'm like, yo, there's houses in the city that they build for less than $300,000, the whole house. So all I'm saying is we gotta be mindful of how we spend our money. I have a really nice story, which I'm not going to repeat because I already repeated 3 times, of the school district, my experience. They wanted to charge $1.5 million for something that actually cost 300-something thousand. So we just got to be mindful of how we spend our money. Councilman Delacis.
Who's first?
I yield the floor to Council Vice President.
Councilwoman Mims.
Because it's really quick. I called in regards to this. I spoke to Harry, so I just want to just openly ask Fred, after the vote, if it's approved on next week, will the work start immediately? As far as the Fieldhouse, do we have a date of work start? Do we have that information?
We've spoken with the contractor. He's ready to start right away. We need to have the architect on board in order to commence. So, assuming everything goes forward, the first task we're going to give the architect is to schedule the pre-construction meeting and get the project rolling immediately.
Okay, after next week, depending on approval or non-approval, could you please send me the information or the details on the date that we'll start this work?
Yes, certainly.
And a projection of when it will be completed as well.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Councilman Delacis.
Thank you, Council President. My first request to Corporation Council, if he were living today, he would be all over us, calling us about the design. Can we please make sure that this resolution is amended? It's not the Burley Fieldhouse, it is the Gerald Glisson Fieldhouse. So let's start believing in that, let's start writing that, let's start putting that in the resolution. You know, I know he would definitely be fighting for this, but we passed that, so let's start putting that in the official documents. Back to the design. I wish he was here because I would hope he would be a stakeholder in these meetings designing. But Fred, has there been a design approved, or is this contract gonna let the architect design the building?
It was a conceptual design that was prepared and presented to the council, I'm gonna say 8 or 10 months ago. Milton Robinson, who was the in-house architect for the city, had done a lot of conceptual work. That is what has been given to the architect as the basis for him to design to.
So
the package that was presented to council.
So previously, before I went back into the academic realm, I was a supervisor of athletics, and with the city of Passaic, we worked hand in hand. Have we allowed the stakeholders from the school district, athletic directors, the coaches, did we listen to them? Because I know how it is. When something gets built, the coaches come to you, we should have had this, we should have had that. Director Rodriguez, we dealt with that with the fields, right? Every time we built something, somebody wants something. Were the stakeholders from the school district, and I'm thinking of my counterparts, the athletic directors and the coaches, were they involved in this conceptual design?
I know that Milton did meet with both Vaughn, the business administrator at the time, as well as a number of representatives from the school district while he was conceptualizing the design. There were presentations made to them as well.
Thank you. Just for another thing that we did in Passaic, the SDA, when they would build their schools in the city of Passaic, it will trickle down the designs before they started. They would send the gyms, the new gym spaces, to us, to me and my director at the time, and we would oversee it before construction starts. When this architect designs that, could we please forward it to the school district so they can get input? Sometimes little things, and I remember I changed things, say you can't have the bleachers here, you need an outlet here, you need, the weight room needs this, the bathrooms need that, the locker rooms, they have a better eye than the architects. With all due respect, with them, there's nothing more than a coach knows how their field house should be. The director's a coach for softball, he knows maybe a little bit more than the architects. They're not in the field with the kids. So my request, once the official design is put in place, please have the director of recreation involved in the process. Let them be the last eyes, because sometimes moving an outlet for supervision, having this or having that, they see things that the architects don't see. They sometimes it's a cookie cutter, they just put things in place. So that's the request I have moving forward, and also forward it to the council when the official design is done.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Mims.
It's just quick. When we renamed the Fieldhouse to Dr. Gerald Glisson, we also talked about the sign, that there would be a nice, huge sign. Can we make sure that it's not lost in translation with the work that's going to be done through the administration, that there's a nice big sign? And I totally agree with Councilman Abdelaziz, working with the athletic director, but also working with the facility director as well through the school district. But I want to make sure, to our Madam B, I see her writing, that we have the big sign with whatever logistics, talking to Ms. Schaefer or Coach Wimberly or whoever, Assemblyman Wimberly, to ensure that whatever that needs to look like with input from his wife, that we have those details as we make that field in the legacy of Dr. Gerald Glisson. Thank you so much. I just want to put that on record.
Councilwoman Cotton.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Council President. You know, I was there that day when they did the dedication to Dr. Gleason, and I believe that the engineer was there that day, and I believe that he was going to make sure, and maybe I'm wrong, Fred, but it seemed like to me that he was going to make sure that everybody was going to be where they need to be with the coaches and the AD. Right now, Eastside High School has a new athletic director. It's not the same person no more. So maybe I'm wrong. He was there at the groundbreaking, the ceremony. He was assuring everybody, he even spoke. So he was assuring everyone that he was going to make sure that everybody was included in decision making. Maybe I missed something, Fred, but he was going to ensure that everybody was going to be at the table, going to be brought in, going to make sure that, especially for a guy like Leroy McQueen, who's constantly at the field house, to make sure that it is what it is. So, Fred, was I correct in believing in that, or?
Yes, absolutely, Councilwoman. We did meet with them a number of times, and their input is reflected in the conceptual plans that he has. And as I said, that's what is being given to the architect as the basis for his design to go forward.
Right. Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Council President. So I just want to make this note to the public, so the public is fully aware. I will not allow certain things to pass by without bringing light to the attention of the community. One, first and foremost, this council, this administration, previous administrations, especially this council, has never made it a practice to make sure that those coming before us for concessions, for pilots and things of that nature, for acquisition of properties, and with all of the new construction going on and considering the strain that it's going to be putting on our public school systems, this council never holds or even asks for outside business people to make contributions. We did that quite some time ago. In fact, everyone here who's sitting here was here at the time. When the sale for the armory took place, we made a request, and the developer agreed. The developer came forward and provided an architect. In fact, it was very prompt. They was there the next day. They provided architectural design conceptual drawings for free of charge to the city. So, two things. When I hear that we spent $120,000 just in design fees, and then we question what the cost factors would be. That's because a lot of us don't understand, and especially when it comes to prevailing wages. But more importantly, the disrespect that we allowed to happen as all of the illegal hires continue to take place, and as a zoning officer was placed over Milton Robinson. Milton Robinson was never the acting and or sitting architect for the city of Paterson. Milton Robinson was and is a licensed architect. He's a college graduate with an architectural design degree, background in engineering, and he was actually coerced to do those drawings, and he was never paid for it. So the fact that that we would sit here and allow the disrespect, not only was he never paid for it, he was grossly underpaid. He was hired, someone who illegally hired with no credentials was hired over him, paid double his salary. And if it wasn't for me bringing this light to the city, it would never have been even corrected. And then Milton was forced into retirement. So the fact that we want to mill over it and talk about what he did, and he wasn't even paid for it. Like anytime within a public setting, Council President, which you continuously acknowledge, when the certification of funds need to be made, we also need to acknowledge when our employees are mistreated. Anytime a person does work out of the context of the scope of work that they are hired to do, that means they're entitled to out of title pay. Milton Robinson was never given that. And the fact that we have conceptual drawings that was made, and I agree, the coaches should be the ones making the decisions on this. And although I do respect the director of recreation, there's an inherent conflict that as he is a coach of a competitive high school. So the feedback should be directly with the coaches and the children who have to utilize these facilities. And it's very disappointing on how we just feel like we're here to make decisions for people, as if people are incompetent to make decisions on behalf of themselves. This is yet another disrespect, and I would not sit silent and let it pass by. And I would like to hear anyone who would have a rebuttal, because for some reason, every time I talk about these things, we have, it's a congregation of crickets. And it's disappointing that we sit here and watch our people disrespected this way, mistreated this way, and as we go out and pay someone else $120,000 when we wouldn't even pay this gentleman a yearly salary for that, for in that amount. It's horrible. Thank you, Council President.
Well, I'm not going to entertain a discussion pertaining any particular employee. But compensation doesn't work that way, especially with employees. If somebody performs a job outside of their duty, then you have something called additional duties paid. But you don't say give somebody $120,000 just because they perform a duty. That an outside company would have gotten paid $120,000. But I leave it at that because I don't want to, undermine what Councilman Jackson said. But I don't think it's it's a good comparison. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Council President, you say regular or consent on 35?
35, we're going to put it on regular. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yeah, Council President, I don't want to rebuttal, but I got to defend our recreation director and our assemblyman. To think that he will not put the best interests of our residents because he coaches at Hackensack is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Come on, athletics is athletics. The recreation director has a slew of knowledge, contacts, sees other facilities because he's coaching, should be in that room, not because he coaches at another area. So I got to defend our recreation director. I said we will not do that. The tremendous things he's done for Pattersonians. I just had to say that, Council President.
Councilman, that's why sometimes it's not even worth entertaining certain comments. So, but I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. So number 35 is going to go into
On consent, I have it, Mr. President.
yes.
So we're moving on to 36 through 39 for fire.
Correct.
36, okay. And the chief there?
I'm here.
Okay. Mr. President, did you want him to speak?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Chief? Chief, you can go ahead.
Number 36, Chief,
36, okay.
which is resolution approving the application for and authorizing the acceptance of the assistance to firefighters grant program.
I'm sorry, I can't unmute. They have to do it for me. So for the Assistance Firefighter Grant Program, that's an annual grant that comes out through FEMA. And this year we're looking to do extractors or NFPA rated washer and dryer for fire gear. That removes the carcinogens out of fire gear so that we don't have to send the fire gear out and we can do it in-house. It's going to be roughly in the $200,000 range with a 10% match. There is also a hardship waiver, which naturally we'll be going for, so that there will be no match. That's what we're looking for. The most we'd be putting for would be $20,000, and that would come out of my budget, and I would displace something else out of my budget to do it.
In the long run, this is going to save some money, right, Chief?
Yes, sir. Right now we send the fire gear out regularly to get cleaned. Now it'll only be the cost of detergent. We'll do it in-house. The only time we'll have to send the gear out is if it needs structural repairs. So we'll be doing all the cleaning in-house. And my ultimate driving factor is that the cancer rate for firefighters is exceedingly high. Our fire gear is just coated in soot and particulates, so we just want to do our best to wash that out, work on the better health of our firefighters, and of course, in doing so, if we can save some money in the long run doing so, that'd be great.
Yeah, you can put a price on that. So, Madam, Councilwoman Cotton and Councilwoman Mims.
Excuse me, Chief McDermott. 36 was the grant. I call them the wash machine. Is that number 37?
It's
36.
Yeah, 36.
No, for the cleaning the equipment. I mean, cleaning the outfits, the uniforms.
That should be 36, the AFG grant.
Okay, that's what that one is. Okay.
Yeah. 37 is for emergency management.
Oh, okay, that's that one is, okay. All right, I just want to say, is he still got me? No. Council President, like, you got us muted, and we've been trying to...
No, you asked for the floor, I give you the floor.
Yeah, and, I'm trying to I'm chair of public safety, like, you haven't even asked me, and you let everybody who... you let everybody else who cheered, like, you let them talk, and, like, I'm public safety with my chief here, like...
Councilwoman, this is the first item we have discussed, and you've been the first one of the council to speak on it, so I don't understand what you're saying. Like, you're the first one to speak on this item. This is the fire, this is number...
I have police, Jerry, he done left, I didn't say nothing.
We put all of those on consent. There was no one had an issue.
All right, I'm gonna take that one this time, okay?
You're the first one to speak, Councilwoman. All right, Councilwoman Mims.
Council, can you hear me, Council President?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'll wait. I think Councilman Abdelaziz said it best. I'm just gonna say amen and ditto. I can't allow to sit, and hear someone that has been advocating for our kids for a long time, for commentary to be made, especially when the person is not present to defend themselves. But I'm not gonna allow it on my watch because I know exactly what gets done. And I wanna go back to the fact that, previously $750,000 was removed from recreation, and we have not gotten back to that place, and there's so many things that are missing, so much stuff that's still needed, especially when it comes to evening centers, where we're not at the capacity where we used to have. And Council President, you could speak to this, there were 21 evening centers when we served on the school board at the time, and that's been reduced because of the funding. So we have to definitely ensure, and Council President and myself, and I'm sure others, have been advocating for more money to go into recreation. We have been pleading, Council President, and so many others, I'm sure they have too, but we have been pleading, even in finance, because we need to make sure the recreation is a department that is definitely needed. It's only currently 1% of the city's budget, and it needs to be increased so that we can save our sons and our daughters. So I'm going to continue to stand on the front line in defense of the director and the assemblyman because of what is done with the limited scope of resources and the need for the increase of money to be in the recreation budget. So I'm going to keep saying it, that it needs to be done. I've been saying it for 2.5 years, and every year Council President is a witness in our budget hearings that they have added, and sometimes they didn't want to, but they found it. And I also wanted to say this when Lieutenant Sharon Easton was on in her in the grant that she wrote. She last year gave money to recreation, $300,000. So I want to commend her for that. In that budget, the community grant that she did, she gave money to recreation where the city was not able to allocate a lot of funding. So there's a lot of great things that are going on, a lot of stuff, and yes, we do need to work harder, but we have to also commend the great work that people do day in and day out, whether we see it, whether we know it. It does not mean that people are not working in the best interest of our children, in the best interest of our parents, and definitely in the best interest of the city of Paterson. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Council President. So let me be clear. What I said, word for word, verbatim, was the coaches should be the ones consulted, not the recreation director. I never said he had any wrong or poor intentions for the children. I said there may be an inherent conflict because they compete against each other. Maybe, you know, the director of recreation in his role as coach of another city's high school football team would like to try to get another win in. So I never said anything that he would not. I said the coaches who have to work in the facility day in and day out should be the ones to be consulted with. They're the ones who have to be, who are going to have to utilize the facilities. They should be consulted. It's not a recreation facility. It is a facility that's utilized by the Paterson Public Schools and particularly Eastside football team, in which I was a volunteer coach for several years. So I know the situation that we're dealing with. In fact, I've been advocating for that facility to be upgraded for quite some time. I have no issue with it being upgraded. I only pointed out the fact that this administration is spending a large amount of money when we had the services donated. I also pointed out the fact that a Paterson resident who was poorly treated, which no one on this council stood for, and still refuses to stand in solidarity with me in defense of him, working out of the context of his hired position. But more so, just this last point, I'm not going to labor anything. It's unfortunate that we just witnessed and heard this administration talk about the $1.5 million that surplus that was made for the sewer assessment, and talked about how we took money from the Department of Public Works budget over in excess of $1 million+, which I said at that moment should go to recreation. This council, who is the fiduciary responsible agency for the city, has the authority to make sure that money stays in recreation. if we collectively came together and did so. So to sit here and talk about how we all advocating, we sat here and witnessed this administration pull $1 million and so plus dollars from the director's budget, which can directly impact recreation. We could have put $1 million in there and not even be having this discussion. So it's unfortunate we I feel as if I'm watching a TV show where we have a lot of actors acting as if we're concerned, but we have an opportunity to really act and act responsibly on behalf of the community, and particularly our recreation director, our children, and make sure that the $1 million or so that we found due to implementing the new processes, that the children are the ones who benefit from it. So you guys can continue to I won't be disrespectful. I'll rest it there, Council President.
So, just want to let everyone know, the numbers speak for themselves. I don't recall that the removal of a 1 since we've been here, Councilwoman Mims, all we've been doing is fighting to make sure that the service is not reduced in that department and in all departments actually. We've been fighting for the services not to be reduced, but I'll leave it at that. Councilwoman Cotton, do we have? All right, let me remove this thing. Hold on.
Council President Velez has had his hand up for a long time, so.
No, he's getting ready to ask me a question. That's what he was doing, right?
So yes, Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
36 through 41. Actually, through 40. I have a question on 41. 36 through 40. Can we put those on consent?
Yeah, they can all be consent, Council President.
Okay.
All right. Now, number 41.
Okay. Now, 45, I'm not sure, let me just say to, Chief McDermott, I don't remember talking about 41,
So can you explain 41?
Which one is 41 again?
Resolution appointing Ryan Foote as the City of Paterson's Office of Emergency Management Local Agency Security Officer.
No, all that is, it's the state mandates that we have security for the dispatch center, the 911 center, and Ryan Foote as the IT director is the one who does all of the firewalling and things like that. All it does is it fills the mandate to establish a point of contact as the local area security officer, or the LASO, they'll call that. That's all it is. It's not any difference. It's just assigning him as a point of contact to the state for all things security, for firewalling and protection, that nobody can crack into the computer system for the dispatch center.
Thank you very much. Just put that on consent also. So
41 cents, yes.
Yes.
And let me just say, Council President, Council colleagues,
Councilwoman Cotton.
may I please, council members, once we get that, call center in, it's gonna be so, awesome. I mean, like,
Awesome.
these ladies gonna have top of the line, equipment. I mean, it's gonna be fast forward. It's really gonna be, I'm so excited, Chief, and I can't wait till we, at least get started with this.
Me too. We're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, Councilman Velez.
Council President, thank you for allowing me. I just want to excuse myself from this meeting. Just want to excuse myself. I don't want to disconnect just because I want to. I just want to respect the days and you as a Council President. So good night. God bless you all.
Good night,
Have a
Council.
wonderful night.
Night, Councilman. Thank you. Are we moving on to 42, Mr. President?
Yes, number 42.
That's the one that purging taxes for 413 East 25th Street. That's on the finance.
So number 42, Councilwoman Mims, can we put that on consent or regular?
Yes, put it on consent.
And then number 43.
Three.
Javier, could you remind me what 43 is?
So, Silk City needs more time to do the foreclosure on them because of COVID. I guess because of COVID, they haven't been able to have all their meetings they need to.
So
they need to extend the period to do foreclosure proceedings.
So just educate us a little bit on this, so we have an
So,
understanding.
Silk City bought, the liens, and they're foreclosing on them. They have 2 years to foreclose, and because of COVID issues, they didn't, there's some final judgments that I guess weren't able to be reviewed, so they're just asking for an extension.
Can we legally, under the law, do this?
My understanding is yes.
Council President, if I may,
Corporation.
under the law, we can extend. And again, as our CFO has said, the issues have been because of COVID. Once the court shut down, they were in process of getting the final judgments complete. But because the courts are shut down and not yet reopened to do the final judgments, they were unable to do them. That is why they're asking for the extension so they can finish that and then finish the foreclosure process.
So they acquired this through auction, correct?
Through a lien sale.
Yeah, that's what it says there, through a lien sale.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
Quick question, Council President.
Councilwoman Mims.
So, Javier, have we ever done this before?
Extend the foreclosure, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so I'm not saying yay or nay because the council has to vote on it, but in a situation like this, it looks like this will take a precedence, and then anyone else that needs an extension, we will have to follow suit after doing this for this particular entity.
So,
right?
So I like this the statement, and that was one of my concerns because that's what came to mind. Anyone in the future could just come and ask, well, what's the worst that could happen? They cannot foreclose in the second year. What happens now? Taxes come up again? They will have to buy them again? So what's the consequence of not allowing this?
They have the ability to foreclose on the property legally.
Why? Like they have 2 years, but if they continue to buy the taxes on it, so what is the issue? Like,
first and foremost, they have to be able to now buy the new liens if those new liens come up. That's number one. Number two, because of COVID, and I understand what Councilwoman Dr. Mims and what Council President are saying, that this would be one of the few times, and I have to ask some of my staff if we've ever had to do this before. I will get that research done. But part of the concern is that this is not a normal year. Anytime there is an extension, the parties would have to come before council. And COVID being what it is and courts not open is indeed a valid reason. A lot of things are being extended, particularly legally.
And you said it. A lot of things are being extended. Why isn't the state? This got to be a statewide issue, right? Why isn't the state doing this? I'll give you an example. We have to, for us who hold licenses, for those who hold licenses, professional licenses with the state, such as myself and Javier and a few others, usually we have to renew our licenses every 2 years, and you have to take, courses and seminars and so on. They give us an extension of another year because of COVID. This is a statewide issue. How come the state haven't extended the timing of foreclosure?
That I can't tell you. I can't tell you why, Council President, but I can also say the converse of that is, for my licensure, the state did not extend our time. They did not give us any additional time to take our required courses. We still had to do them in our calendar year period. And we have the same 2-year kind of cycle. My credits had to be done December 31st by midnight, or I would have issues with my license. So the state has picked up some issues, they haven't picked up others. But what I will do is do some research regarding whether or not the state is going to address these issues.
Yes. Can we pull this for now?
Yes.
Let's pull this.
Okay, number 43 off for now.
Yeah, we need some clarifications. We need to understand why the state have not extended it for everyone in the whole state. I just don't want to set precedent like Councilwoman stated, Councilwoman Mims. Just leave it at that. Let's just pull this one on 43.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Number 44, that's appointment for the Paterson Parking Authority, and this is the person that Councilman Jackson had appointed.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. For me?
Do we have, and again, maybe it's just me, but do we have other employees that are serving on any of the authorities?
Yes, I have a list of all the boards, yes.
No, do we have employees that have served in authorities?
I can answer. I really don't know offhand. Legal would have to give me a ruling on that.
Yeah, Councilwoman Cotton. You have to unmute yourself, Councilwoman.
Think that, no, you got me mute, oh, okay.
No, I stopped that already. I put it back.
Yeah, no, I've been here for 8 years and I have seen people working for the city that was on boards.
Not on boards, on the authorities, I said.
I mean, under authorities. I've seen it.
Okay.
So, legal,
Do you know one of them, Councilwoman?
Councilors here, she could be able to tell you, but I've seen, employees for the city of Paterson on, you call it,
The authorities.
Yep, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
I'm just curious. I'm not against it. I just want to know if, So, Corporation Counsel?
I was actually did some research. There's no specific bar to any employee being on any authority. It's up to the council person to appoint them.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Actually,
They're a separate entity, so, yeah, it makes sense. All right.
What is the pleasure of the council reporting for Mr. Franklin?
Yeah, just put that one on regular.
And regular, okay.
Council President, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry, I was getting some interference. Can you repeat that?
No. We didn't entertain the conversation. I answered my own question. Councilwoman Cotton actually clarified it a little for me. I just had a general question, but then I answered my own question. It's a separate entity. I just have some concerns. I had a question pertaining to city employees serving on authorities, right, which we created, but it doesn't matter. It's a separate entity. All right.
But Council President, just for the sake of clarity, because I have an appointee, I didn't hear the question.
The question was if a city employee, but then I started thinking of all the other appointments. We have city employees that are serving on the planning board. I think adjustment. So my question, I haven't
ABC.
Correct. So that's irrelevant. My question is not, doesn't hold any.
But Council President, just for a point of clarity, I did not hear Corporation Council's answer.
Yeah. Yes.
Council President,
Go ahead.
my answer was that there was no reason why the employee could not serve.
Correct. All right. So can we put that on regular? Yes.
The only reason I asked Corporation Council and Council President, I'm not sure if this is pertaining to my item, but I made that is my item, ma'am?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah. All right. All right. I think that's it, right, Council, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir, there are no more items, just the council committee reports, if anyone has any reports at the closing.
So, Madam BA, right before we close, right before we entertain a motion, I brought up an idea to the administration, which will not cost the taxpayers any money, which is to either hire an entity or hire employees that would clean, and this is to assist DPW, that will clean those properties that are not city owned, and we will send the owner the bill, and if they don't pay, we put a lien on it. We need to look into this again. I know we met with I think it was the labor union. They do something. I didn't know they were doing something like this in Jersey City. I think it is, or Hoboken, one of the two places. And this is something that needs to be addressed. The city's dirty in a way, and we need to improve the quality of life in this city. And I think this will be a way to do it without costing the taxpayers any money, and at the same time not taking the time away from DPW. So I wanted to get a status on where we at with that. And I'm not gonna repeat the request from prior meetings. I'm gonna let you look into those pertaining escrow and the dispensary. So, council members, do we have a motion to close this meeting?
Motion to close.
Moved by Councilman Mendez,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Mims. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the workshop session of January 12th, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes, good night, Paterson, nice and brief. I yield my 2 minutes. I yield my 2 minutes to Councilwoman Cotton for her.
Give me
vote.
one. Give me 2 minutes.
2 for Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Councilman Allen, the 6th Ward. It's not gonna be long. I just wanna say that, I wanna thank, I didn't thank, some of my people that helped me with my, my Christmas dinner, and I really wanna thank 2 of my guys. It was a bunch of men that came to help me, and one of them was our Paterson Board Education President, Kenneth Simmons. He was my barbecue man, and I also want to thank Anthony Glover. He was my cook inside, putting everything together. And we had a bunch of other men that came through. One of them that did help me before, he has passed, Joe. He has passed, but then I also had the Timmy Greer and Roger Greer and Mike Foreman and Antoine Wilson, and those guys came in and they did and they would look at me and sometimes say, Councilwoman, don't worry about it. We're gonna make sure that you have a successful 37th annual Christmas dinner. I want to thank all the ones that even donated the bicycles. I remember one day talking with my husband, and he said, and I said to him when I was a kid, I never had the opportunity to get a bicycle. Only my baby brother and sister did. And he said, one of these days, we're going to do a bike giveaway. And sure enough, we had our first annual bike giveaway. We had quite a few donations, but I can see that next year is going to get better because more people. If you could just see the young people faces that received bicycles, was really exciting. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who came and donated and helped me out, and all the volunteers, and especially to my cooks who make sure. But also, there's a lot of things going on in the ward, and I have decided with the help of my aides that I'm getting calls, and there's a lot of calls. People are really overwhelmed. I think sometimes people don't understand how overwhelmed they are, but what I'm trying to do now is look for services that people can go to, because sometimes they call you and they're not sure about the services. And even for anger management, for grief counseling, suicide prevention, substance abuse, family counseling, parenting skills, helping just basic education, parents resource, mentoring students, helping them, being able to read, making them understand. I learned today that the DCA is also helping people with rental assistance, and they're also helping people with their mortgage payments, and helping them to understand how that works. So within the next couple of weeks, I hope to have a hotline number that people will be able to call me and be able to reach out to say, I'm having this issue. This is, where can I go to get this service done? Where can I do to help me get this done? So with that being said, I would say the next 2 weeks we'll do that. But to you all out there, I know that we're still, I know they say the numbers are still going up, but please, we have to practice the social distancing. Please, if you go somewhere, you got to make sure you quarantine yourself before going around people. That is so important, especially when you're traveling out of the state of New Jersey. If you making sure that don't out hanging out, then going home to your elderly parents or around your children, and we just have to make sure we be safe. I think that I also want to mention the discrepancy that happened at the White House. I have never thought that I would have seen this in my days, that would be happening in here in the United States of America. But racism is still strong. It's been strong since I was a kid, and it's still strong. And hopefully that it can somewhere or another that we can get it back right. We all deserve a chance. You know, no matter what color of our skin, no matter what race we are, no matter what country we're from, we all deserve a chance. So I know, Council President, with that being said, I just want to say to everyone, pretty soon I'm gonna have a number, you're gonna call me, I'm gonna try to do my best to lead you to the right direction and to the right person. With that being said, and also, Councilwoman Vice President will talk about Black History Month for us. With that being said, everyone in Paterson, 4th Ward, have a good evening, have a nice evening, God bless you all. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So before my vote, I definitely, I have to say that I'm very pleased to hear that we're going back to the 6-day testing from the health department. Dr. Prasad and his team, they used to have one day in the 3rd Ward, Brilliant Avenue, River Street, and a lot of Pattersonians that have no way to drive around the city. They were taking advantage of that. As the last person that on public portion say, you know, that this mayor have the gross irresponsibility to stop the testing at this side on the second wave of this pandemic, which is something so irresponsible, and allow the funding to just expire and not thinking about, listen, let's go to plan B, let's find some funding to continue the testing. So I'm very happy just for the people, just for the resident of the great city of Paterson. We've been losing so many lives, so many loved ones with this pandemic that we just cannot, we cannot stop. We just have to continue testing and encouraging our residents to please use your face mask, continue practicing social distancing. It's important. This COVID-19 is around us, and the only way to fight this is to, number one, providing the service our residents deserve, and number two, bringing awareness to the community. I will continue through the Alice Mendez Foundation providing face masks. We have a great amount of masks, and we're going to be doing the distribution during this weekend, starting Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And also to all my 3rd Ward residents, today I was around Eastside Park area addressing some of the concerns that some of the new homeowners in Eastside area on the historic district have. They tried to do some renovation in those properties, but a lot of the homeowners in the historic district, new homeowners don't understand is that you could definitely change the roof, the window, and the siding. You don't need a permit if you live in another section of the city of Paterson. But in the historic district, you have to go through the Historic Preservation Commission to get the permit and to get approval of the material that you're going to use. But nobody knows that. They don't know. People, they're not aware. And what we're doing is we're going to make sure that every person that live in the historic district, the Eastside Neighborhood Association, and people that purchase property in the district will make sure that they know that there is a Historic Preservation Commission that they have to go through. I definitely don't want to see another homeowner doing a renovation and then after that start getting summons and being forced to just fix everything all over again. So we got to stop that. And once again, Paterson, let's just keep fighting this COVID-19. Have a good night, Paterson. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mims?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So Al didn't give me a minute, so Council President, can I have a half a minute from you? So first of all, let me congratulate our Paterson School District. After 30 years of being under state control, they have now been granted local control. So I want to commend all of the school board commissioners. There are 3 currently on the council, myself, Council President Rivera, Councilman Mendez, I believe that's all that was on the school board. And there's so many others that just to name, anyone past, present, and future. I also want to commend Director Casilio Cruz, who I know she's no longer on, her and Council Vice President, Vice President of the school board at the time, Nakima Redmond, who led the charge of the 2-year transition plan, and now under the leadership to bring it home, School Board President Simmons and School Board Vice President Manny Martinez, and all of the school board members, our superintendent, teachers, administrators, staff, our children, our parents, everyone involved to get us down to this point. Congratulations. There is a big event tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I may wear some orange and blue or something to represent Eastside, and maybe a little purple and gold in the back to represent Paterson Catholic. But I'm super excited that we are now back to a place where we don't have to be guided on how we need to educate our children. So congratulations to that. Next, I want to thank Council President. I asked him a couple weeks ago in regards to Black History. He stated that I can take the lead, and so I sent out an email about 2 weeks ago to the committee, Councilman Cotton, Councilman Jackson, as well as copying our Council President, Madam Clerk, and our Deputy Clerk on it. Due to the pandemic, unfortunately, because of the capacity of how many people could be in the City Council chambers, it was decided that we would not do anything in the chambers because we believe safety is a first priority. So we will have the flag raising ceremony outside on Monday, February 1st at 12 noon. We have the flyer that was finalized today. It is just amazing. It's an amazing flyer. There's always a national theme for Black History, and then what happens is we take and add to it. So the theme this year is Black family, the past, the present, and the future. And so once this meeting concludes, I will forward it, and we're going to print it, Madam Clerk. So I want to save you all your time and energy. I'm going to bring it a nice laminated copy to you so that all the council members can have it to be sent in their packets. So that day we will have a short program. We will have prayer, of course, libation, we'll have singing. Councilwoman Cotton, if I miss something, just unmute yourself. Singing, we have the flag raising, we have, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely awesome. We'll make sure that it's COVID friendly, right? We'll make sure that we're social distancing, but it will be on that Monday, February 1st at 12 noon. The flyer is already circulating on social media, and we work this together. The email has been sent, and so we're going to the finale now, and we're going to make sure the decorations and everything. So, Madam Clerk, I'll call you tomorrow about inside of City Hall, but we have somebody for outside, and I'll give you a call tomorrow. But I'm just super excited. So, Paterson, please come out on Monday, February 1st. Council members, I know some of you are going to be there. I know some of you is lunchtime, Council President, but I'll make sure we try to get it in so you can still eat a sandwich or something. We'll make sure it'll be very nice and succinct and short. It's not a long program, but we want to acknowledge the heritage in our culture, and we're super excited about it. And so, did I do good with that, Councilwoman Cotton? I don't want to miss nothing.
But I'm sorry, Council President. I've been so used to you mute me all night. I don't know. But no, Councilwoman, ma'am, you answered just about everything, and I think it's gonna be really exciting. And I'm looking forward to it. For us having that day, I hope God's gonna bless it with some good weather.
Yeah. So thank you, Councilwoman Cotton. It is going to be awesome. Paterson, know that. When people know how to do things, you can give it to them in 48 hours and they can make miracles. We know how to take lemons and make lemonade out of it. So it's not last minute. We've been talking about it. We were praying that COVID would lift and we would be able to expand. But unfortunately, it is what it is, right? As Lady Michelle Obama says, it is what it is. So it's where it is. We want to make sure that it's in your best interest. And so it's not delayed, because we know delay does not mean denial. It's going to be awesome. please take a look at the flyer, look through the photos and see who you recognize in there. There's so many great people. And if you remember someone, you said they're not there, we have the program, right? Because what we're doing is the flyer is the flyer. The flyer will be actually the program. On the inside will be the order of service, and there will be a border of other pictures. So if you don't see a photo, it does not mean a photo will not be present. So remember that. We're making sure we keep everybody. I gotta say to Vaughn and Khalifa, your photo will be there. We're creating a border for the order of service. So I'm excited. Can you see I'm ramped up? I'm excited about it because it's gonna be awesome. So thank you, Council President. I think I mentioned everything. I'm gonna put it on record again. And I sent it to the administration in an email, and I don't think it goes through our street naming committee, Council President, but I sent it and I'm gonna openly put it on record, and I'm praying that the council will support this effort of myself and Councilwoman Cotton. We're looking to rename Putnam Oval after Ray Light Sr. We've sent the request to the administration, and I'm looking forward to, in February's agenda, I didn't see it now, but February's agenda, I'm looking for that item from the administration, sponsored by myself and Councilwoman Cotton, to be on the February's agenda. We're looking to rename it, has to be done through the administration, and I'm putting it openly on the record. I sent an email out, and so now publicly, Ray Light Sr., the bio, I will send it over, and I will send it again, Council President. I will send it to the Madam BA, and to all the council members, putting this on record so that this will be on the February's agenda. Madam Clerk, thank you for all you do every day. Deputy Clerk, my condolences to you and your family. Condolences to our community in the loss of Mr. Bishop Carney. I called him Dad Bragg, Miss Ada Downing, and so many other, Principal Joe Clark, who I'm a former student of East High, graduate alumni class of 87. So many people to call, but everyone that is going through, Shonda, LA, so many people, my condolences to the family. My last words of encouragement: stay safe, stay encouraged, and stay being great Patersonians. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mr. President?
So to my council colleagues and the residents, so you saw something that happened earlier with myself and a director, and that's what happens when an administration doesn't hold their directors accountable. Not for his actions, but for the work that needs to be done in the city. If the administration was doing that job, I as a councilman would not have the need to do so. To always ask them, how come this haven't gotten done? That should not come from me. That should come from the administration. So let me just start. Sometimes your patience just run out. 2.5 years later, reassessment program, right? It wasn't started by this administration, but we still have staff here that need to be held accountable. And I'm getting a whole list of people, and you read an article. Probably over 300 people were affected by this company just in 2019. In 2018 also, people that purchased a property in the city of Paterson were also affected tremendously. And maybe in 17, ever since that company has been here. Did the council approve it? Yes. I approved it because they, when it was first approved 4 years ago, it was supposed to be for a 4-year program. We could not leave that program halfway. What I didn't know at the time when I voted on this twice is that they were doing what they were doing, which is targeting, or as our assessors would put it, a flag will be, it raises a flag when a property is purchased. And so the homeowners that do not know what I'm talking about is that some people purchase homes in the city, and just for the simple fact of purchasing a property, their assessment went up tremendously without any justification, just because they purchased a property when the market is high. And all I ask is that the administration, and we had this conversation before in finance, and we were promised that the new CFO would have the conversation with our assessors. I just want to put for the record that I would not leave this alone until we do something about it. Even if I have to meet with all these people and encourage them to do a class action suit against the city. They have been penalized tremendously. And I'm here to fight for everyone. This is not right. This is not right. So now, I'm going to ask once again the administration. We voted, the administration convinced the council to vote to allow a marijuana dispensary in the city of Paterson because they were going to generate jobs and, well, medical marijuana at the time, generate jobs, and we will be collecting a 2% revenue on the sales. Well, I would say about a year later, actually no, it was maybe 5 months later, after we passed the ordinance, we still haven't collected anything. We still cannot get an update if we have contacted them or not. I inquired, and I was told that whenever we ask for it, we'll get. Well, how come we haven't asked for the money yet? It doesn't say in the contract that they're supposed to pay quarterly or monthly. All it says is that they're supposed to pay us a monthly 2% on the sales. Escrow fees. A year and a half later, we passed something that will benefit the taxpayers, and we still haven't addressed it. So I'm getting to the point that I'm losing all confidence. All confidence. And I'm responsible for my comments. I'm losing all confidence in this administration. Escrow fees is unacceptable that we put this together to benefit the taxpayers of the city, and a year and a half later, or a year and 2 months later, we still haven't basically put this together. So we have the interaction we had before with DPW. And you know, I don't have to tell the residents. I don't have to say anything about the performance and the services that have been provided to our residents. I let them say if they're happy or not. I leave it at that. But it's all about accountability. Another thing, we have to have more courtesy. We closing roads over here, and we don't even get the courtesy. We don't even get the courtesy to the homeowners. I mean, even to the business owners to arrange for the deliveries and everything else. I saw Market Street closed the other day. They were complaining. All those business owners were complaining. They did not know that the roads would be closed, so they could not arrange, for the delivery. Something as simple as just letting them know. And I just want to say, also, I don't want to talk about the testing. You know what went on about that. But I just want to say, listen, as a resident of this city, and as an elected official of this city, I'm entitled to my opinion and to my own assessment of the services that are being provided to the residents. If I'm okay to approve a budget for you, which is the plan for you to provide the services, I think I'm entitled to question what the administration doing with those resources. So again, 2.5 years later, all has been willing to work with this administration, have showed it. All I ask is for accountability. Hold your department heads accountable. People not doing their work, you know what to do. But it's unacceptable to continue and try to create other layer of governments to supplant the work that some people are not doing. So I hope I hear from this administration that, in order for us, if not, I guess we're not going to continue to work, I guess. I will only work with this administration if we start addressing the needs of the city and with things that are for the best interest of the city. But the thing that gets me discouraged is that every time I vote for something that's supposed to be good for the city, it never gets executed. It's frustrating. I want to, prove me wrong. Tell me one thing that this administration have done that have been successful, and I leave it at that. Name one thing. I just want to hear one thing. I'm in the middle of roll call. After I finish, I'm going to give the opportunity to the BA to tell me one thing that have been, if she wants to entertain it. If not, we close the meeting. My vote is yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. You wanted me to announce the vote now, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The municipal workshop session of January 12th, 2021 is hereby adjourned. Good night, everyone.